Today we're here at the start of the 2009-2010 NBA season. This is before LeBron left Cleveland, when players like Steph and Derrick Rose were young and establishing themselves in the league, before Brandon Roy got injured. So let's start off with a quick overview of the rosters. Brandon Jennings was a promising young player for the Milwaukee Bucks. Of course, Derrick Rose, he was with Luol Deng and Joakim Noah in Chicago. LeBron James had no help except for like old Shaq and Mo Williams in Cleveland. The Celtics had a really good big four, really, because you got Rondo in there too. The Clippers were trying to establish themselves with a young Blake Griffin. Joe Johnson was still with the Hawks. D. Wade hadn't had LeBron arrive in Miami yet, and Udonis Haslem wasn't even 30. The Hornets sucked just like they do in real life. Darren Williams was really good. There were debates about him and CP3, who was better. The Kings were trying to get out of their playoff drought. Who knew it would have took them so long? The Knicks, they have Nate Robinson. The Lakers have Kobe and Powell, along with Andrew Bynum, Lamar Odom, Meta World Peace. And the Magic, they've got Dwight Howard in his prime. Dirk is in Dallas with Jason Terry and Jason Kidd. Brook Lopez, the Nets' all-time leading scorer, is barely even an 80 overall and is their best player. You've got the Nuggets with Carmelo Anthony. The Pacers, before Danny Granger's career was derailed by injuries. The Pelicans, back when CP3 was on their roster. The remnants of the championship Pistons teams, and you've got the Toronto Raptors with Chris Bosh before he went to Miami to team up with D-Wade and Bron. An injured Yao Ming on the Rockets, it caused his regression. You've got the Spurs back when Richard Jefferson had hair. You got the Phoenix Suns with Amari Stoudemire and Steve Nash. The Thunder with young Russ, young KD, young James. Got to watch out for that team. And they got Uncle Jeff, new NBA champion Uncle Jeff, man. You got the Minnesota Timberwolves, K-Love. The Blazers, like I was talking about, Brandon Roy. This is before Dame even arrived in Portland. They also have Greg Oden on the roster. The Golden State Warriors with Monte Ellis and a young Steph Curry. The Washington Wizards with Gilbert Arenas and Antoine Jamison. And that's pretty much it. So we're in for a crazy simulation. So many star players who now may be retired. Some guys who are a bit older in the league, but a lot of guys who we haven't seen in NBA action in quite some time who are going to be dominating the league early on in this simulation. We also have John Wall and Boogie coming in the draft. Let's go ahead and let's check out the all-star teams. You have Team Kobe and Team LeBron. Gilbert Arenas is on LeBron's all-star team, kind of surprising as he's only an 82. You've got Rondo as an all-star starter, so you got to watch out for those Celtics, man. You see Pierce, you see KG, you see Rondo, you see Ray, all on the all-star team. And by the end of the season, LeBron James was named the MVP of the league. Not too big of a surprise there. He's pretty good at basketball. Marcus Thornton is the Rookie of the Year, because I forgot to reset the year's pro on the rookies, so somebody else probably would have won, but congrats to Marcus Thornton. Manu Six-Man, Bron DPOY, and Kevin Love wins your Most Improved Player. Mike Brown is the Coach of the Year for the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right. Let's get into these All-NBA teams. You got Darren Williams beating out CP3 for the All-NBA first team. You got some guys from the 2003 draft, Bron, D. Wade, and also Carmelo Anthony on the All-NBA first team. Kobe and Powell are on the second team as well. A young KD makes the All-NBA second team. You've also got Al Jefferson, man. What happened to Al Jefferson? Wasn't he getting buckets with the Hornets like 4 or 5 years ago? I don't know, man. My perception of like NBA time is pretty bad at this point. Like, it feels like just a couple years ago when the Warriors and the Cavs were facing off, but that was 2018, and 2018 was 5 years ago now. That's crazy, isn't it? Let's go ahead and let's check out some of the stats from this season, see who was dominating with scoring, boards, assists, all that. We'll go ahead and see who some of the league leaders were. Man, I don't even know how to navigate these menus, and I've been doing all these simulations. But here we go. We got it set up. Carmelo Anthony led the league in scoring this season. Danny Granger was ninth, and Kobe and Powell were at 2 and 6, which is crazy considering that they're both teammates. And Dwight Howard rounds out the top 10 in scoring. Leading the league in rebounds was Dwight Howard, so top 10 in scoring and leading the league in boards. Powell was really good on the glass while also scoring a lot. And then for assists, it was Rondo. Man, those Celtics, they're going to be tough. And the Lakers, of course. Those were two teams who were really good around this time period in real life. And then you see CP3, Tony Parker, Kobe Bryant. He's up there around the top in assists as well. Chris Paul leads the league in steals. You see Kobe in there. Kobe's been in the mix in a lot of these stat categories. So is Bron. And then Thad Young rounds out the top 10. Josh Smith, Jay Smoove, he goes ahead and leads the league in blocks. DeAndre Jordan's up there. New NBA champion DeAndre Jordan. Congrats to him, man. And Michael Beasley rounds out the top 10 in the league in blocks. All right, let's go ahead and let's get into the first round. We'll see if there's any game 7s that we can jump into, but we'll go pretty quickly through this first round because, trust me, this video is about to be long, but it'd be even longer if we went like game by game through these first round series. So we're going to start off with this game 7 between the Wizards and the Hawks, where the Hawks are going to dominate. ISO Joe was out there getting buckets for the Atlanta Hawks, leading them to a first round win in a game 7, 11 of 14 shooting, very efficient. Josh Smith kind of struggling in these playoffs, but the Hawks were able to get the job done, and they're going to be advancing into the second round. JaVale McGee, man, you were this close to making the second round. All right, let's go ahead and let's get to our next matchup. We've got a matchup between Utah and Portland. Darren Williams versus Brandon Roy. And in this one, Brandon Roy is going to get the best of D-Will, taking it home. Darren Williams had a really good game, though. And for the Blazers, surprisingly, it's Martell Webster leading the team in scoring. You would expect Brandon Roy to be their guy, but they were able to get the job done, and I guess that's all that really matters. And Greg Oden, he's playing pretty solid. He was close to averaging a double-double for the regular season, and in the postseason, he's contributing for the Blazers. He could have been really good if it wasn't for the injuries. That's what really derailed his career. But the Blazers, they're going to be moving on to the second round, and now our second round matchups are set. So let's go ahead and let's check them out. We've got the Mavs versus the Lakers, Dirk versus Kobe. Then we've got the Pels versus the Blazers, Brandon Roy versus Chris Paul. You've also got LaMarcus Aldridge and David West, the battle of the mid-range shooting bigs. Then we've got the Hawks versus the Cavs, Bron versus Joe Johnson. Good luck, Joe, man. Bron versus Joe Johnson is kind of crazy. No disrespect, but man, Bron might get his in that one. We got the Celtics versus the Magic here. Dude, how was Vince Carter still old even in this time, and yet he played all those years? It's wild, bro. But the Lakers are going to go ahead and gentlemen sweep the Mavs. The Cavs are going to sweep the Hawks. But we've got some more competitive series here as well. A game 7 between the Pelicans and the Blazers that's going down to the wire. Chris Paul has the ball. Why would you shoot that? That was a terrible shot. And now the door is open for the Portland Trailblazers. Only down a point. Just get a bucket here and you're in a good spot. The ball goes down low into the post to LaMarcus Aldridge. A kind of tough midi. Not exactly the shot you'd want to see with all that time on the shot clock. And now they're forced to foul. They're going to have to foul a couple times to go ahead and get into the bonus, or get the Pelicans into the bonus, my bad. And Darren Collison is at the line. Darren Collison ended up retiring kind of early. He tried to make a comeback recently, but he retired, I think, at like 30, 31. Tried to come back recently, but nothing really came of it. Anyways, the Portland Trailblazers are down 3 points here. The ball goes to Batum, and it's off. The Portland Trailblazers blew this one. Their late game execution was bad. They were gifted a good opportunity by Chris Paul. Paul took that really tough 3, and they just couldn't go out there and finish the job. Paul's kind of been struggling throughout this playoff run for the New Orleans Pelicans compared to his regular season numbers, but he's moving on to the conference finals to face Kobe Bryant, a chance for an NBA Finals berth for Chris Paul. Paul, throughout his career in real life, has been ringless. Now we've got the Cavs and the Celtics as well. LeBron James taking on a really difficult Boston Celtics team definitely has a lot more talent than his Cavs roster. But despite that gap of talent, Bron and the Cavs are fighting against the Boston Celtics. We've got a 2-2 series there, and we've also got a tied-up series between the Lakers and the Pelicans. But we're going to hop into this Celtics-Cavs matchup in Game 5. Paul Pierce trying to score on Bron. Bron's got him locked down. Rondo getting to the rim, though, for the nice layup to put the Boston Celtics up 2. Now LeBron James with the chance to either win the game or send it to OT. Gets down the lane. He could have took the layup or the dunk, but he pulls the mid-range and it's good. It's all tied up. Celtics have a chance with 1.1 left. Ball goes to Rondo in the corner and the shot is off. Why are you going to Rondo for 3? And ultimately, the Celtics are still going to take this one away in overtime, but that was a questionable shot from Rondo. Now the Celtics are up 3-2 in the series. LeBron James with a good game. Shaq, he's just old, man. 7 for 19 shooting from the field when he's probably just shooting layups and dunks is kind of wild. And Ray Allen with a great game. He made 5 threes in this one. A huge performance for him as the Boston Celtics win this one and take a 3-2 lead. Now we've got a 2-2 series between the Lakers and Pels, and we're just getting a lot of hop-in games. We'll see if the Pelicans can execute here. A beautiful mid-range jumper drops for David West. He's shooting a pristine 32% from the field in this one, and now the Lakers are looking to answer. They're still up 2 in the game, but a bucket here definitely would be good for them. They get the ball to Lamar Odom. Not too much time on the shot clock. He pulls a tough fading jumper, and it misses. So now the Pelicans can tie it or take the lead with a three-pointer. Marcus Thornton has the ball, and he pulls a tough shot, and you might be wondering, where's Chris Paul? Well, he ended up fouling out of this game, so the Pelicans are going to have to get it done without him. Derek Fisher gets the ball down low to Pau Gasol. Pau Gasol puts up the layup, and it's good. The Lakers are up by 4 points. Pelicans definitely need a bucket here. Darren Collison bringing it up. Looked like he might have had a lane there, but he doesn't take it. He's trying to make something happen. The ball goes down low to David West. Pau Gasol defending. Oh my goodness, that's post moves bag work. Did you see that layup from David West? And now the Pelicans are back in it. Just get a stop here, and you're in a pretty solid spot. Just get a stop and a bucket. Boom. All right, Pau Gasol, though, gets to the free throw line. Man, that is a rough foul there from David West. Let's see if he hits those, though. The greatest camera angle of all time, and he does end up missing this one. He makes the second, though, meaning that the Pelicans need a 3 here if they want to look to send it to overtime. They got Peja Stojakovic in the game, who's a good three-point shooter, so we'll see if he gets a look. The screen comes from Stojakovic, and it's a David West mid-range. David, you were kind of cooking for a second there, but that's not really what the Pels needed in that situation, and this game is over. Chris Paul ends up fouling out of it, like I said, and the Lakers are going to go ahead and win this one. Kobe Bryant also fouled out of the game. I forgot to mention that, but yeah, Kobe fouled out, so tough, man. Tough to see that. Both of the star players for either team fouling out, but Pau Gasol definitely stepped up for the Los Angeles Lakers in this one. And the Lakers are going to go ahead and lose Game 6. So we're headed to a Game 7 out west, while the Boston Celtics won Game 6 to go ahead and advance to the NBA Finals. Ultimately, the Lakers are going to win in Game 7, and Kobe Bryant is here to face KG and the Celtics. Kobe had a really good Game 7. So did Pau Gasol. Pau's been really stepping up in a big way for the Los Angeles Lakers in the NBA playoffs, and they're here in the NBA Finals against the Boston Celtics, led by Kendrick Perkins. Let's go ahead and let's get to it, though. Game number 1 is going to go to the Celtics. Game 2 is going to go to the Lakers. Game 3 goes to the Celtics. And Game 4 goes to the Lakers. So we've got a good old-fashioned back-and-forth series, man. Let's go ahead and let's get to it. The Celtics are going to lose Game 5. A big game from Kobe. That's 41-24 from Metta World Peace. And Pau Gasol with only 12. But he's been performing well throughout the playoffs for the Lakers. Rondo had a good game, but it wasn't enough. And ultimately in Game 6, the Lakers are going to get it done, being crowned the 2010 NBA champions. And in the offseason, it's time for the 2010 draft, where DeMarcus Cousins is going number 1 overall. to Utah. Derek Favors goes number 2 to the Pistons. John Wall, number 3 to Golden State. Number 4 is the Grizzlies, who are picking Gordon Hayward. Number 5 is the Nets, who trade their pick, but I was pressing the button too fast, so we missed the trade. We'll have to check what that trade was, but Hassan Whiteside is going to Milwaukee as a result of that trade. At number 6, you've got Paul George going to the Sacramento Kings. Number 7, Lance Stevenson going to the Oklahoma City Thunder. And we'll go ahead and look at a few of the other picks, but there's your top 7. Some good pickups for these teams, most definitely. I'm interested to see what DeMarcus Cousins and John Wall can do, probably the 2 headlining players of this draft class. Also Paul George, of course. But now it's time for the 2010 offseason. LeBron, Dirk, Tim Duncan, Steve Nash, Brandon Roy, Rondo, Paul Pierce, Chris Bosh, Gerald Wallace. We got a bunch of NBA free agents. So we're going to go ahead and simulate a couple days, see where these guys decide on going. And the main names are off the board except for Udonis Haslem, of course, and NBA legend Patrick Ewing Jr. But we're going to check out who ended up getting signed and to where. I don't know how Patrick Ewing Jr. got here, but anyway. LeBron James goes back to Cleveland. Dirk is going to the Portland Trailblazers to team up. Wait, not to team up with Brandon Roy, because Brandon Roy's going to Boston, while Rondo's going to the Lakers. Tim Duncan is taking Dirk's spot on the Mavs, and Steve Nash is going to the Rockets. The entire league just got flipped upside down. What happened? LeBron James is teaming up with Paul Pierce in Cleveland. The Celtics picked up Brandon Roy but lost so many other players that it might not really matter. And the Lakers, they got Rondo on top of already having Kobe and Powell. So they'll definitely be trying to repeat next season. Free agency was absolutely crazy this year, man. And now the Mavericks don't have Dirk, but they have Tim Duncan, while the Blazers lost Brandon Roy but added Dirk. Man, stuff just got crazy. I can't wait to see how this season pans out. And we'll start off this season by checking out the All-Stars about halfway through the year. And we've got some new names entering the All-Star team. We got Brandon Jennings and Rudy Gay. Derrick Rose is here on the All-Star team. ISO Joe, I think, was here before, but he's here again. You got Blake Griffin on the All-Star team. Brandon Roy, an All-Star starter. So a lot of interesting players on these All-Star teams. Bron ends up repeating his MVP, and he remains loyal to Cleveland. So that's an interesting storyline to watch out for. And Boogie is the Rookie of the Year. Jose Calderon, 6th Man of the Year in Toronto. Josh Smith, DPOY with the Atlanta Hawks. And Phil Jackson, Coach of the Year for the Los Angeles Lakers. Kobe and KD are on the All-NBA first team this year instead of Dwayne Wade and Melo, who were on All-NBA first team last year. D-Wade's on All-NBA second team. You see Russ on the second team as well. Chris Paul and Rondo, the best buddies, on All-NBA third team. And of course, defensive mastermind Josh Smith on All-Defensive first team. We'll go ahead and we'll check out the season stats of the league leaders, and we'll see how guys did this year. I'm having a little trouble navigating the menus. That's my bad. But here we go. LeBron led the league in scoring. Melo was up there, of course, with his mid-range game, the mid-range maestro. Dirk was up there. Derrick Rose up there as well. So was Russell Westbrook, 2 athletic, explosive point guards. Josh Smith, Jay Smooth, led the league in rebounding. Rondo led the league in assists. Not too surprising there, especially when he's teamed up with Kobe. But Kobe is also still in the top 10 in assists, despite being with Rondo. So Kobe's been crazy as a playmaker in this simulation. And let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of the top rosters in the league, because I know it can be a bit difficult to follow. Dwight Howard's Magic are here at the number 1 seed. Number 2, you got the Cavs, led by old Tracy McGrady. The Boston Celtics have Brandon Roy, and the Philadelphia 76ers, they've got Iggy, I guess. I don't know, man, but they're getting it done. The Lakers got Rondo, Kobe, Powell. They've got an absolute squad. the Dallas Mavericks with Tim Duncan, able to lead the way for them. The Denver Nuggets, they got Chauncey and Melo and JR. That's a pretty cool team. The Spurs lost Tim Duncan but picked up Gerald Wallace and LaMarcus Aldridge, so they were still able to stay as a really good team in the Western Conference. And in the first round, we've got some close series. Some teams were able to make easy work of their first round opponents, but others, like the Clippers and Spurs, are going to a Game 7. And in Game 7, the Clippers absolutely dominate. Blake Griffin, on the biggest stage in the NBA playoffs, responded, and the Spurs went down by almost 50 in a Game 7. And speaking of 50, Blake Griffin almost gave them 50, 43 points in this one for Blake Griffin, a triple-double for Baron Davis as the Clippers get past the Spurs and move on to the second round. Now we have a Lakers-Clippers matchup here in the second round. That's exactly what I'm here to see. Then we've got the Mavs and the Nuggets. The Mavs with Tim Duncan and like Sean Marion. And then you've got the Nuggets with Carmelo Anthony and Chauncey Billups. Out east, we've got the Sixers and the Orlando Magic. The Sixers were able to sweep their first round opponent, the Wizards, so maybe I'm underestimating them as they head into the second round. And we've got the Cavs and the Celtics. The Cavs have Paul Pierce and Bron, and the Celtics have Brandon Roy and KG. Let's see how these series go. Man, the Lakers are cooking the Clippers. Also, the Nuggets cook the Mavericks. So both of those teams are moving on out west. While out east, we've got some more competitive series. The Celtics are going to beat the Cavs in 6, but we've got a Game 7 between the Sixers and the Magic. In Game 7, the Philadelphia 76ers came to play, winning by 20 points and taking out the number 1 seed. Samuel Dallenberg ends up going out and dropping 25. Iggy's having a good playoff run. So is Drew Holiday. So is Lou. Never mind. Oh my goodness, the shooting splits are terrible. But hey, they got it done, and they're moving on to the second round. Ryan Anderson, man. Y'all remember Ryan Anderson? He used to be on those Rockets teams with like James Harden. He was a really good stretch big. Anyway, we got the Sixers and the Boston Celtics here in the Eastern Conference Finals. Didn't expect the Sixers to make it, but here they are. And we got the Nuggets and the Lakers, Melo and Billups versus Kobe and Powell. And they also got Rondo with the Lakers. Man, that Lakers team is crazy. The Lakers are up 2-1 out west, up 3-1 now. And they're up 3-2. Are they going to get out of that? They might blow the 3-1. The Sixers are in the finals. Okay, some crazy stuff is happening. But the Lakers don't end up blowing the 3-1. And Lou Williams has a huge bounce back in the conference finals to lead his team to the NBA Finals. And Powell also was able to get the conference MVP for the Lakers. So good stuff from him as the Lakers avoid blowing a 3-1 lead. And now we have a Lakers-Sixers finals. I'm surprised the Sixers got here, but here we go, man. Can they go ahead and pull off the upset against the Los Angeles Lakers? Game 1 goes to the Lakers. Game 2. Game 3, the Sixers take. The Lakers are up 3-1. The Sixers take another one, but the Lakers are able to get it done in 6 back-to-back chips for Kobe and the Lakers. Now we've got the 2011 NBA Draft. Klay Thompson is selected number 1 overall to the Houston Rockets. Number 2 is the Memphis Grizzlies, who select Kawhi Leonard. Number 3, the New York Knicks. And the Knicks are going to go ahead and select some auto-generated guy, Ralph Barber. Don't really know who he is, so we'll just go ahead and keep it pushing. Number 4, once again, an auto-generated player. 2K, why do you do this? Why do you make some of the best players in your draft classes auto-generated guys? There you go. Kyrie Irving going number 5 to the Toronto Raptors. Number 6 is Jimmy Butler. I'm wondering if the Heat will trade for another star or if they'll run it back with the same core. It's going to be interesting to see what's next for the Heat after losing in the finals, but a lot of auto-generated guys getting drafted. We do see Kemba go number 9 to the Phoenix Suns, so that's pretty cool. But Klay Thompson, the number 1 overall pick in this draft, over Kawhi Leonard is kind of crazy, and over Kyrie is kind of crazy, but He does go number 1 overall. Cavs legend Tristan Thompson goes number 11. And we've also got Nikola Vucevic going number 12 to the Knicks. So overall, a pretty cool NBA draft. You know, players went to their teams and all that. That's kind of how the draft works. Bro, I just simulated through free agency. Oh my goodness, man. We're not even that far into the video. I know y'all see how long the video is at the bottom and you're like, oh my goodness, how am I going to hear this guy's voice for that long? Let's be honest, most of y'all probably aren't making it to the end of this video, and that's okay, man, because it's a long video, but we'll look at free agency this way. Amari Stoudemire went to the Pels, Kevin Durant went to the Nuggets, Melo went to the Clippers, Rodney Stuckey went to the Knicks. Oh man, things got crazy, I can't lie to y'all. Things got absolutely crazy. David West went to the Sacramento Kings. Chauncey, he's with Kevin Durant on the Nuggets. This Kings team kind of sucks. Anyway, we got Zach Randolph going to the Pacers. The Cavs got Mo Williams on a huge contract. Bron, might be time to get out of there, man. But y'all see the rest of the signings. Mike Conley got a big contract with the Grizzlies. Do you all remember when Mike Conley was the highest paid player in the NBA? I swear I'm not making this up. I know there was a time where Mike Conley was getting the bag from the Memphis Grizzlies. It was a crazy time, man. That was a couple teams ago for Mike at this point, man. Mike Conley, remember Grizzlies Conley with Marc Gasol, Zach Randolph? Oh, man, what a time. But let's go ahead and let's get to the All-Star teams. Kevin Durant and LeBron James are your All-Star captains. You got Rodney Stuckey and Michael Beasley making their first NBA All-Star appearances. Ignore that it says twice. 2K hasn't fixed that, despite this game being out for what, like a long time. 2K24 is about to come out, and they still can't fix that. At the end of the season, we saw Kevin Durant be named the MVP of the league. He's with the Denver Nuggets on a new team, and he was absolutely hooping with them. Kawhi Leonard is Rookie of the Year in Memphis. Jose Calderon is your Sixth Man of the Year for the Toronto Raptors. I think that already happened before. He's going back-to-back like Jordan in 1996, 1997. Remember when Drake said that back-to-back like I'm Jordan 96, 97? See, you kids wouldn't know anything about that. The old Drake, that was before he was playing Fortnite with Ninja and all this other stuff, man. That was a different time. Y'all kids wouldn't know anything about it. There's the All-NBA teams. Y'all saw the awards. Phil Jackson was the Coach of the Year. Rodney Stuckey is just hooping. We might be in some type of alternate universe, bro, because he's going absolutely crazy. No disrespect to Rodney Stuckey. He gave me a bucket, but, man, he was not that good in the league. He's making All-NBA teams, getting paid. But that's kind of what I'm here for. Resimulating and seeing things go differently is exactly what I'm trying to see. Because if I resimulated and everything happened the same way, it wouldn't really be that interesting. But let's go ahead and let's check out the top 10 scores. Man, Rodney was getting buckets. Steph Curry was getting buckets. Kevin Love was top 10 in scoring. D Wade was top 10. You had Dwight Howard leading the league in boards. Tyson Chandler, he was barely even starting that many games, and he was still top 3 in rebounds. He just really gets boards like that. Hassan Whiteside was grabbing boards. Carlos Boozer was grabbing boards. You know, as Kawhi said, board man gets paid. Chris Paul was getting buckets and dishing out a lot of assists. So was Darren Williams. So was Westbrook, and Kobe keeps finding himself in that top 10 of assists. He's even ahead of Steve Nash, the guy who stole his MVPs. We'll go through the first round pretty quickly. If we got any Game 7s, we'll hop in and simcast those, see if we can get any good gameplay. I feel like we've seen some solid hopping games thus far throughout this video, and maybe we'll get another one. We got Magic and Pacers headed to a Game 7, but this one wasn't too eventful. The Pacers go ahead and get the dub by 7. Dwight Howard hasn't really done too much throughout this video so far. Kind of disappointing, but the Pacers were able to get it done. Brevin Daniel was getting buckets. Their new pickup, Zach Randolph, making an immediate impact. And Danny Granger, without the injuries, continues to hoop. So they're going to be moving on, pulling off the 1-8 upset. So that's pretty big. We've got the Lakers and the Trailblazers in the second round. And the Trailblazers might pull the upset here out west. They do. And then the Clippers are going to go ahead and beat the Sacramento Kings. Out east, we've got a Game 7 between Philly and Atlanta. Joe Johnson versus like Drew Holiday, I guess. Let's go ahead and let's see how this one goes. And Joe Johnson comes through in the clutch. 22 points here to lead his team. And Drew Holiday kind of struggled in the playoffs. for the Philadelphia 76ers. They go ahead and lose. Their season is over. But Joe, he was getting buckets. Josh Smith, Jason Move, he was getting buckets. Do you remember when he was going crazy for the Houston Rockets in that one playoff run? That was ridiculous. But now we've got the Pacers versus the Hawks. Roy Hibbert versus Al Horford, definitely set to be an interesting one. And then we've got the Clippers versus the Trailblazers. Dirk versus Melo. Oh my goodness, man, this Clippers team looks crazy. I feel like they should have an easy time with Dirk and the Blazers. I'm not going to lie to y'all. That Clippers team looks nice. Game number 1 goes to Portland, though. Game 2 goes to the Clippers. And out east, the Hawks are cooking. But in the West, the Blazers, that proved me wrong. I owe you an apology. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I wasn't familiar with your game. Okay, we got 2 Game 7s. Pacers versus Hawks. Let's see who gets the job done here. And the Pacers, they're going to go ahead and clutch this one up, winning by 3 points. Joe Johnson with 19. That wasn't enough, though, for the Atlanta Hawks. They might have needed somebody to get a little bit more buckets. They had quite a few guys scoring like 15 or more, but Zach Randolph with 24 leads the way for the Pacers to get a dub. And in Game 7 between the Blazers and the Clippers, the Blazers, Dirk, he's able to get it done. I feel like the Clippers had a much more well-rounded roster, but overall the best player in the series got it done, and that was Dirk. I mean, the Clippers had Carmelo Anthony, but Dirk was just a little bit better. He was able to get it done. And Michael Redd with 35 in 20 minutes in a Game 7. Are you serious? Michael Redd was hooping at only a 78 overall. He's been a spark plug for the Portland Trailblazers, getting buckets for them. And now we've got the Pacers versus the Blazers in the NBA Finals. And with a player of Dirk's caliber, I think that the Blazers should be able to get this one done. They're up 2-0. They're up 3-0. And they're going to go ahead and sweep the Finals. Dirk wins a ring and a Finals MVP, going through a really good Clippers team and beating the Lakers. Now it's time for the 2012 draft, where ironically AD is going to go to the Pelicans once again, and Drummond's going to the Bulls. He's on that team. Okay, and Draymond's going to the Warriors, sure. Dame's going to the Suns. I guess that's a sign. Maybe the Suns will trade for them, because so far 2K's been pretty accurate on what teams these players have been on. That was kind of funny seeing the first 3 picks. All the players went to teams that they're currently on. Kind of weird how that worked out. But let's go ahead and let's get to the end of this draft, because we got a bunch of auto-generated guys getting drafted. We'll see if anybody else notable. Oh yeah, Harrison Barnes went to the San Antonio Spurs, but that's pretty much it for that draft. And man, the Memphis Grizzlies, they're starting to build up a pretty solid young core, as they recently picked up Bradley Beal in this draft to add on to already having Gordon Hayward and Kawhi Leonard. So definitely something to watch out for there with the Memphis Grizzlies. Now let's go ahead and let's jump into free agency, where D Wade is considering the Clippers. And remember, that Clippers team was already pretty ridiculous. So if they could pick up D Wade, they could definitely make some noise in the Western Conference. They were already making noise last year in the West, but now they might make a little bit more noise. Let's see how free agency went, though. And D Wade does choose the Clippers. Okay, things are getting crazy. Russell Westbrook leaves the Thunder after KD already left, so he's going to Brooklyn. KG stays with the Celtics. Nash stays with the Rockets. Tony Parker goes to Sacramento. They made a couple pickups over these past few off seasons. You got Trevor Ariza going to the Heat. Gallinari going to the Heat. Jason Terry re-signing with the Mavs. Jameer Nelson went to the Wizards. But man, we got to watch out for that Clippers team, because D Wade is a huge pickup for them alongside Carmelo Anthony. All right, let's go ahead and let's jump to the All-Star teams, see if anybody new ended up making it. We've imported a couple draft classes. We'll see if any guys can take that leap into the All-Star team. Doesn't really look like it. Looks like we got a lot of the same guys, multi-time selections here in the All-Star team. But man, Rodney Stuckey is absolutely hooping. So is Michael Beasley. Both of these guys are getting buckets. Really cool to see those guys hooping like that. But one guy I don't see, Steph Curry. What is he doing? Oh, okay. It looks like he's progressing pretty well. He's playing alongside John Wall. Steph's at a 91. They also got David Lee and Monte Ellis. They've got a pretty solid team there, but I haven't seen Steph on an all-star team yet, so just wanted to check and see what was going on. KD won the MVP of the league once again. Anthony Davis was the Rookie of the Year and the Sixth Man of the Year. Who is AD coming off the bench for? We'll have to check out what's going on over there in a second. But Monty Williams is a Coach of the Year, 60-22 on the season for his team. So good stuff for Monty. And already DeMarcus Cousins is on All-NBA first, bumping Dwight Howard down, which is kind of surprising. Dwight's been pretty disappointing thus far. And speaking of big men, there's Al Jefferson, man. Timberwolves legend. All right, let's go ahead and let's check out the league leaders. Y'all know the drill at this point. We've simulated quite a few seasons thus far. But before that, I didn't forget, I do want to check on what's going on with Anthony Davis. Oh, so they got Amari, and they decided to put AD off the bench. They've also got Emeka Okafor. So I'm going to go ahead and make the decision to move AD to the 5. He already plays some 5 in real life with the Lakers. He pretty much exclusively plays the 5. So we'll go ahead and just move him over to the 5 so that Amari can still start as well. But I feel like AD's too good to not be starting for that team, especially as the number 1 pick. The Orlando Magic were the number 1 seed this season. D. Rose and Dwight teaming up is kind of crazy. And the Knicks, led by Rodney Stuckey, were the number 2 seed. Number 3 was the Bucks, led by Brandon Jennings. Then you got the Sixers. I don't know how this team keeps doing it, but they're doing it. The Lakers are the number 1 seed. They got Rondo, Kobe, Powell, Bynum, a really good team there. The Minnesota Timberwolves, Kevin Love leading the way for them. Another big in Portland, Dirk leading the way for his team. And the Dallas Mavericks are the 4th seed with him, Duncan. All right, let's go ahead and let's see how these first round matchups go. It looks like we do have a Game 7 out west, and we got a couple out east. So we'll go ahead and check those out, see what's going on. Orlando could lose as the 1 seed 2 years in a row, so got to watch out for that. But we've got this Knicks-Celtics game to check out first, and the Celtics came to play in this one, winning by 27 points. A huge win there. Rodney Stuckey, 6 for 18 shooting, man. Come on now. Brandon Roy is going to get the job done for his Celtics. Rudy Gay was hooping as well. Brandon Roy's having a really good first round series, and he's moving on to the second round. Now we're going to see, are the Magic going to lose to an 8 seed 2 years in a row? Yes, they are. Even after adding Derrick Rose to the roster, they couldn't get the job done. And Dwight Howard, 4 points in Game 7. 4, bro. 4. Absolutely, just, that's definitely a game, man. Absolutely terrible there. And the Magic are going to lose. Now we got a Game 7 between Utah and the T-Wolves. And oh my goodness, Utah came to play. They won by 35 points. Kevin Love, you tried your best, I guess, but your best just wasn't good enough because, man, Boogie, Darren, Paul, they all came to play. And Boogie in his 3rd season is hooping in the NBA playoffs. Now we got our second round matchups. See if we get any more exciting close matchups between these teams. But the Jazz absolutely cooked. They swept the Thunder. And the Cavs, as an 8th seed, end up beating the Sixers in 6. And they're moving on to the conference finals. But we got a couple Game 7s. One between the Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. And man, we've been seeing a lot of blowout Game 7s. This one is no different. A 32-point dub. Michael Beasley with 35. Brandon Roy with 15. A kind of rough game for him as the Celtics are going to lose. And we got a Game 7 between the Clippers and Mavs. This Clippers team is stacked, but it doesn't matter. Tim Duncan came to play. They got Chris Bosh too. That was just too much for the Los Angeles Clippers as they get smacked. They lost by 32 points. Jason Terry, the Jet, he was hooping. And this one is over, man. D-Wade, Melo, Blake Griffin just couldn't get the job done. That's a really good big 3 to be losing in the second round. They did upset the 1-seeded Lakers, but they just weren't able to finish the job. Now we got the Jazz and the Mavericks out west. CJ Miles versus Jason Terry. So pretty cool matchup there. I'm sorry, bro. I keep making these corny jokes. Oh yeah, Greg Oden versus what I say last year. Greg Oden versus Al Horford. Like, bro, what are you talking about? Please shut up. But all right. We got the Jazz up 3-1 in the series. And okay, both series are 3-2. Both series get done in 6. Michael Beasley, bro, Michael Beasley leading the Bucks to the finals. That's wild, man. And Darren Williams leading his Jazz. He's a 99 overall? Bro, all right, man. Let's see how this series goes. Michael Beasley versus 99 overall Darren Williams. I don't know what we're doing right now, but the Jazz are up 3-1. The Bucks are going to take a game, and oh my goodness, they did it. Darren Williams, 99 overall, is going to get a chip alongside DeMarcus Cousins, who had a really good playoff run in his 3rd season. They also had Paul Millsap. This was a really good team, and they were able to get the job done. Now let's go ahead and let's head to the 2013 NBA Draft. Let's see who goes number 1 here. And the Raptors are going to select Giannis. That's a pretty good pick if you ask me. Number 2, the Hornets select Gobert. Number 3 is Oladipo to the Suns. Some auto-generated guy, another auto-generated guy. Another auto-generated guy. 2K, y'all got to fix your... Bro, are you serious? Can we get the real players, please? Please, 2K. Come on. There we go. Otto Porter goes to the Warriors. He was there in real life when they won the chip. And the 10th pick is being traded for a future pick. Whoop-de-doo. And the Warriors are going to select Nerlens Noel. It's time to get out of here. This draft was absolutely buns. I mean, Giannis got selected, but like besides that, Monte Ellis the second, Monte Ellis the first is still in the league. How did this happen? All right, bro. Let's go ahead and let's get to free agency. That draft was just, I don't even know what to say about that draft. But LeBron James, it looks like he's going to go to Boston, one of your rival teams in real life, Bron, and you're going to Boston. Darren Williams is going to leave Utah after the chip. Dwight Howard, it looks like he's going to leave Orlando after just selling in the playoffs. We'll see what happens there, though. Let's go ahead and simulate a couple of days, and then the big stars should have picked teams. And yeah, Bron went to the Celtics. Darren went to the Mavericks, which means he's teaming up with Tim Duncan. And then Dwight went to the Thunder. James Harden went to the Rockets like in real life. Brandon Roy went to the Warriors to take Curry's spot, I guess, because Curry went to the Pistons. Chris Bosh went to the Hornets. Oh my goodness, so much player movement around the league, but Bron going to the Celtics definitely has to be the biggest shocker there. He's teaming up with an old Kevin Garnett and like Joakim Noah, I guess, so I don't know. It's not much better than Cleveland, Bron. It might not be better than Cleveland, but the Darren Williams-Tim Duncan duo, you might have to watch out for them. I mean, Darren is coming off a chip. Dwight Howard also did decide to go to Oklahoma City after Harden, Russ, and KD all left the team. Now he's got Avery Bradley, a young Jimmy, a young Lance. I mean, they got some promising young talent, but we'll see if those guys can develop and grow as players. Damian Lillard is here on the Phoenix Suns. Victor Oladipo is also there, and Kemba. And I realized later on, I want to add this as a note, I did realize later on that the league like changed it to where you had to be 21 to be drafted, and I didn't realize till later, but I did end up changing the rule after a couple seasons. But some guys came into the league a little bit later than they should have, or at a little bit older than they should have because 2K changed that stupid rule or something. I don't know why the NBA would ever change that rule, so why is it in 2K? I don't know, man. Just check out the All-Star teams. Michael Beasley makes another one. And of course, Rodney Stuckey's there as well, man. He's a legend for the Knicks at this point. Kevin Durant wins the most valuable player for the Denver Nuggets. Dennis Schroeder is the rookie of the year in Boston. He went crazy. Maybe Bron does have some help in Boston because Schroeder, oh my goodness, over 20 points per game, adding on 7 assists. Okay. Ricky Rubio is the 6th man of the year with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Bron, defensive player of the year. And John Wall, most improved. Steph Curry left the team and he knew it was time to hoop. Scott Brooks is coach of the year. Steph makes All-NBA first, joining the Pistons. So it might have been good for Wall and Steph for them to split up because it seems like both of those guys are doing pretty well. Derrick Rose, James Harden, Michael Beasley. Bro, Michael Beasley being in there is so wild, man. He was a bucket though. Like he definitely was really talented as a scorer. I mean, all NBA players are, but Michael Beasley definitely had a bag and could score. But ultimately, he just never ended up developing into a star. But that's okay, man, because he made the NBA, and most people can't say that they did that. And he was a top pick, so props to him, man. Russell Westbrook led the league in scoring. Kevin Durant not too far behind. Tyreek Evans, oh man, Tyreek Evans for the Brooklyn Nets, and he's teamed up with Russell Westbrook in Brooklyn. So you got Tyreek and Russ in Brooklyn. That's a really cool duo. That's actually awesome to see. DeAndre Jordan grabbing some boards on the Pistons. He's teamed up with Steph Curry. And then in terms of assists, you only had two guys averaging 10 plus, but Steph's teammate Edward McNeil was close to averaging 10 assists, while Steph was averaging 10.4. So they were definitely a really good playmaking duo. But we'll go ahead and check out the rosters and then get into the NBA playoffs. I like to show y'all some of the top teams in each conference because it's kind of hard to keep up with. It's also good for me so that I can keep up with the rosters. This Wizards team just did something magical. I don't know how they got the first seed. The Knicks are second, led by Rodney Stuckey. And, of course, Brandon Jennings Bucks are third. The Pistons with Steph are the fourth seed. And then out west, you've got the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have bounced back despite losing KD, Russ, and Harden. They're the number one seed. The Memphis Grizzlies with Gordon Hayward and Kawhi Leonard are number two. The Houston Rockets with James Harden and Klay Thompson are number three. And KD's Nuggets are number four. So let's go ahead and let's jump into it. See if we get any game sevens. The Thunder absolutely cooked. They swept their opponents. Steph goes ahead and beats the Sixers in 5. You got the Rockets, gentlemen, sweeping the Blazers with Dirk, and Dirk's coming off a chip, getting gentlemen swept in the first round. But we've got a ton of game sevens around the league to go ahead and check out. One of those between the Bucks and Nets, and the Bucks absolutely cooked. They go ahead and drop off the Brooklyn Nets. Hassan Whiteside with a monster rebounding game. Michael Beasley getting a couple buckets, but he shot 4 for 12. It didn't matter, though, because they got the dub. Amir Johnson was out there scoring for the Bucks. Brandon Jennings had 12, a little bit less than he's been averaging. But Russ and Tyreek couldn't get the job done. Russ was having a huge playoff series in that first round, but wasn't enough to get the job done. Now let's go ahead and let's get into this Game 7 between Washington and Indiana. Once again, the number 1 seed could lose to an 8 seed, but it doesn't happen this time. Washington came to play. They won by 39 points in this one. Derek Brown goes ahead and drops 25 to lead the way for Washington. Zach Randolph tried. He probably had a lot of nice post-ups, but it wasn't good enough to get the job done. And then out west, we had a Game 7 between the Lakers and Denver that I accidentally skipped by. That's my bad, but the Nuggets end up winning by 3. Of course, the one I accidentally skipped by is KD versus Kobe. That's my bad, and it was a close game, but KD was able to get the job done just to get swept by the Thunder in the first round. But we got some more close series with 2 Game 7s coming up in the Eastern Conference. All right, man, this is exactly what I'm here for. We've got the Heat and the Bucks, and the Heat are going to go ahead and catch fire in this Game 7 to beat Milwaukee. You see what I did there? Ah, ha, ha. My bad, bro. But yeah, the Heat, they're going to go ahead and win this one by 12. Danilo got 40 on them. Oh my goodness. I didn't know Danilo had it like that. I owe you an apology. I wasn't familiar with your game. And yeah, I saw the Jose Calderon 18 points and 15 assists. Crazy stuff from the Miami Heat to win that one. And then we got a Game 7 between the Wizards and the Pistons. And the Wizards continue their run. They still got Gilbert Arenas, but Steph Curry, he's going to get dropped off in the playoffs. He was having a crazy run. And his teammate Edward McNeil was really out there playmaking. Derek Favors was out there doing his team a favor by getting buckets. You see what I did there? Ha ha. We got the Grizzlies versus the Thunder here. Kawhi and Gordon Hayward versus Josh Smith and Dwight Howard. And then we had the Wizards versus the Miami Heat. The Wizards, their run has been magical. All right, bro, my bad. But the Wizards' run has definitely been magical throughout these playoffs. we'll go ahead and see if they can continue it. They had a great regular season as well. We'll see if they can build upon that and make a finals run. They're up 3-0 on Miami, and out west, the Grizzlies are dominating against OKC. The Wizards are in the finals, and are the Grizzlies going to follow? Maybe not, because they could blow this 3-1 lead right here. The Thunder are in control, and they're going to win it. Dwight Howard makes the NBA Finals against Manu Ginobili and the Washington Wizards. Dwight, he was able to do it. Jimmy Butler on the team, Avery Bradley, a lot of good young talent on this roster, and they were able to get the job done. They're moving on to the finals. A rough game for the Memphis Grizzlies as they go ahead and lose in a Game 7, blowing a 3-1 lead. This Wizards team really doesn't look too great, but they've been good throughout these playoffs, so we'll see if they can continue that. The Thunder, though, oh my goodness, they're going to sweep the finals, and Dwight gets a ring and a finals MVP. Good stuff from him. Now it's time for the 2014 draft, where Jabari Parker goes number 1, Aaron Gordon goes 2, Jokic goes 3 to the San Antonio Spurs, the newest NBA Finals MVP. He's an NBA champion. Jokic, he's going to go number 3. And Zach LaVine building upon that Suns young core. You had Wiggins going to the Bulls, and Embiid went to the Wizards. Remember, that Wizards team was just in the finals, so getting Embiid is pretty big. Bogdanovich is going to be with Jokic in San Antonio now as they picked him up, so the Spurs had a couple good picks. And we'll go ahead and get to the end of the draft, bro. It's way too many auto-generated players in these drafts now. It's crazy. But Rodney Hood went to the Charlotte Hornets as well. Remember when Rodney Hood, wasn't he on like those finals teams with LeBron? Wasn't he on like one of the teams that went to the finals? Like maybe, was it the 2018 Cavs? Because Bron like traded the whole team. I don't know, man. Let's go ahead and get to free agency. Oh, KD, he might go to Washington. He saw they were the number 1 seed, just lost in the finals. He said, I'm here to help. He might go to the Wizards. And it looks like Dirk might team up with LeBron in Boston as well. So we could see some exciting player movement this offseason. Simulate a couple days of free agency. Let's see what went down. Chris Paul went to the Denver Nuggets, and Kevin Durant did indeed go to the Wizards. Dirk went to the Boston Celtics to team up with Bron, and Kobe went to the Blazers after Dirk left. Pau Gasol went to the Pelicans. Tim Duncan's on the Lakers, but Kobe and Pau both left the team, so, I mean, he's kind of there by himself. But Boston with Dirk and Bron is going to be crazy. That duo is ridiculous. And then you have the Blazers. I mean, Kobe's got like Batum and Greg Oden, I guess. So that's kind of rough. Yo, I don't know how people do these long videos, bro. I've been sitting here getting all this water. Like, I'm real thirsty. And I know if I don't drink this water, I'm going to be sounding like Doc Rivers, bro. Because this is hard, bro. I've been recording for a good little while. And I know I still have a lot left. We just got done with, what was that, like the 2014 draft? There's still quite a few seasons to go. John Wall makes his first All-Star team this season. Kyrie makes an All-Star team. Remember, he's playing alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo. Remember that one time when Drake said keep it a buck like Antetokounmpo? Anyway, Some Whiteside makes an All-Star team as well. And the Houston Raptors, what am I talking about, bro? This is what I'm talking about. I've been recording for too long. The Toronto Raptors with Kyrie Irving. I just wanted to see what their roster was looking like, but I got off track. Russell Westbrook, the MVP of the league. We had KD getting some MVPs. Now his good buddy Russ had to go ahead and get one. Jokic is the rookie of the year. Edward McNeil, the guy who was with Curry getting all those assists, wins the sixth man of the year. And Joshua Byers, oh my goodness, averaging over 32 a game. See, these auto-generated guys, like, I'd rather see a real player from real life getting all those buckets, but it is what it is. It's 2K, man. Y'all know how it goes. 2K does a lot of stuff, and a lot of it doesn't make sense. But here I am, simulating many seasons on this virtual basketball game, so they got me, I guess. But nah, man, I really do enjoy making these videos for y'all. As much as 2K does have things that aren't exactly the best, man, the game's fun, and I mean, my league's a cool mode, and I enjoy bringing the videos to y'all. So it is what it is. No game's going to be perfect, and sure, 2K's far from that, but instead of harping on everything that's bad, I guess we could enjoy what's good. Man, 2K, if y'all are seeing this, y'all should put me in a commercial. Did you hear all the good stuff I just said about your video game? I know. Oh, Greg Oden. Oh my goodness, Greg Oden was getting mad rebounds this season. Good stuff from Greg. Andre Drummond, one of the greatest rebounders of all time. Y'all think that's not true, but hey, Drummond really does get boards like that. And let's go ahead and let's check out the assist numbers. It was Rondo leading the league in assists. Only guy over 10 a game this season was Rondo. Auto-generated rookie who went ahead and averaged almost 10 assists per game. So that's kind of cool, I guess, bro. But these auto-generated guys, man, they're kind of out here hooping. It's kind of scaring me. Here's some of the steals numbers. I don't think I've really looked at these a lot of the seasons, but there you go. There's the steals. Josh Smith led the league in blocks again. I don't think that's the first time I've seen that. There's Marcin Gortat getting quite a few blocks as well. And Warriors legend Andrew Bogut rounds out the top 10. We had an interesting development this season. The Washington Wizards were the number one seed while only winning 48 games in the Eastern Conference. The East didn't have any 50-win teams, and the top three were all tied with 48 wins. So kind of interesting to see that. There's Dirk and Bron at the 4 seed with only 45 wins. Expected them to do a little bit better, but the East was just kind of weird this season. Don't really know what happened there. But let's go ahead and let's check out the West. Maybe the West was just crazy. I mean, not really. But the Memphis Grizzlies were number one. They have Gordon and Hayward. They've got Beal starting to develop more. They've got Al Jefferson at the 5. And, of course, they got Kawhi Leonard as well. So a really good team there. The Oklahoma City Thunder, their young guys are starting to develop more. And they've got Dwight Howard, of course. And the Houston Rockets, they've got Josh Smith with Clay and Harden. So they've got a lot of really good players. And the Sacramento Kings, they're starting to hoop too. So we'll go ahead and we'll see what goes down in these playoffs. We'll see if we get a more competitive finals, because I think the past two have both been sweeps. We do have one Game 7 in the first round. It's between the Sixers and Bucks. These teams both aren't really that crazy, but we'll see who goes ahead and gets the dub. The Bucks were making some noise, I believe, over these past couple seasons. Maybe at least in one of the seasons, they were doing pretty good, and they're able to get the job done here in Game 7. The Sixers have kind of struggled in these closeout games and these big games, and the Bucks were able to get it done, led by Big Game Beasley. He went ahead and had a near triple-double, and the Bucks are moving on to the second round. We'll see if we get any interesting second round close matchups. All these are actually pretty close. We have a couple Game 7s out west, and both of the East series ended up ending in 6. We got the Wizards versus the Bucks out east in the conference finals. But let's go ahead and let's see how this T-Wolves Rockets Game 7 goes. It was pretty close. That voice crack was wild, but y'all got to give me a break. I've been recording for quite some time, man. But the Rockets were able to get the job done here, and they're moving on to the conference finals, taking down the Minnesota Timberwolves. Kevin Love has remained loyal to this team, but they just can't get it done, man. And now we got a Game 7 between the Memphis Grizzlies and the New Orleans Pelicans. The Grizzlies have Gordon Hayward, Kawhi. We got pretty familiar with this team. And the Pels have AD and Powell, a dominant front court duo. And in Game 7, we actually get a close game. I'm excited to hop into this one and see how it goes. The Pelicans need a bucket here. We'll see if they can get it. They go to Anthony Davis in the post. He misses the layup, and then it's tapped out, I guess, by him, because the Grizzlies get the ball back. Oh, this is not a good spot to be in. And the Pelicans go ahead and take the foul. Kawhi Leonard at the free throw line. That isn't the guy you want to have there. This one's pretty much wrapped. AD at that last play for the Pelicans, that big possession, not the last play, but a big possession for them. Man, I don't know what happened. I don't know how it ended up being the Grizzlies' ball, but it was. And unfortunately, that led to a loss for the New Orleans Pelicans. As the Grizzlies got to the line, Kawhi knocked down those free throws, and it was over. We've got the Grizzlies and the Rockets out west, and then out east, we've got the Milwaukee Bucks and the Washington Wizards. So let's go ahead and let's get into these series, start simulating, and see if we can get some close series. All right, the Memphis Grizzlies and the Rockets are tied up at 2 apiece, while out east, the series is tied as well. So we'll go ahead and simcast the Game 5 out east first, and the Wizards are going to dominate, winning by 22 points. Kevin Durant working his magic, man. The Wizards, he was working his magic. Bro, all right, and the Milwaukee Bucks go ahead and they lose by 22 points. Now it's time for the Rockets and the Grizzlies, and oh my goodness, the Rockets got cooked. Man, the Rockets better just take off and go ahead and get to game 6. I'm cooking. I'm in my bag with these little corny jokes. But we've got a game 7 between the Rockets and Grizzlies. And it looks like it's going to be the Houston Rockets just barely. I should have hopped into that one. But Josh Smith is the conference MVP. Now keep in mind, the Rockets do have James Harden and Klay Thompson, but it's Josh Smith, Jay Smooth, winning that conference MVP, 4 for 15 in Game 7. That's conference MVP type of behavior. And now we got the Wizards and the Rockets in the NBA Finals. Kevin Durant goes to the number 1 seed team from last year and makes a finals appearance. Who would have thought? But the Rockets are cooking. The Wizards are going to take a game. Okay, they take 2. Maybe they're kind of cooking. Nah, it's over. The Rockets are going to win. Klay Thompson is your finals MVP. So no conference or finals MVP for James Harden. And now it's time for the 2015 NBA draft. One of my favorite drafts because none other than the legend, the man, the myth, the legend, Big Purr, Karl Anthony Towns. He's going number 1 to the Phoenix Suns. And the number 2 pick, there's a trade. I was pressing the A button too fast. I didn't get to see the trade. That's my bad. But the Knicks are going to draft Porzingis just like in real life. Devin Booker is going to the Portland Trailblazers. D'Angelo Russell is going to Utah. Frank the Tank is with the Pacers. Miles Turner goes to the Hornets. Justice Winslow to the Bulls. Willie Cauley-Stein to the Orlando Magic. And then at number 9, the Cleveland Cavaliers are on the clock. They have a trade, and I didn't see. I was pressing the A button. We're going to the transaction report after this because we got to see what happened there. But let's go ahead and let's get to the end of this draft so that we can go ahead and check out those trades. That's my bad. I was getting a little too excited. The draft was kind of crazy. I mean, it was the Big Purr draft. Who can blame me? But we'll go ahead and we'll go to the transactions. It was that second pick for Emeka Okafor and Caron Butler, and then Patty Mills for a first-round pick and a second-round pick. So there goes the trades. Now let's go ahead and hop into free agency. Derrick Rose is the main guy this year at a 98 overall, almost a 99. And it looks like he might go to the New York Knicks, teaming up with Rodney Stuckey potentially. And Melo might go to the Heat. Kawhi Leonard, it looks like he could go to the Nuggets. We could definitely see some player movement here. The free agencies so far in this video have been pretty crazy. We've seen a lot of players moving teams. But Derrick Rose is going to go to the Magic. Melo is going to the Heat. Kyrie is staying put with the Raptors. Kawhi is staying put with the Grizzlies. Tim Duncan is signing another deal with the Lakers. Rodney Stuckey stays with the Knicks. And Klay staying with the Rockets after they're coming off a chip. He won the Finals MVP, so that makes sense. Kemba staying with the Suns. So a lot of guys did end up staying with their teams. Melo, though, did end up going to the Miami Heat. He's teaming up with Trevor Ariza, I guess. So that's kind of interesting. And then the Phoenix Suns, you can see they kind of got a young core going here. They got Big Purr. They got Zach LaVine. Their young core is fire. We got to watch out for that team over these next couple seasons. And then looking at the Los Angeles Lakers, you got Tim Duncan, Rondo, Avery Bradley. Their team isn't too crazy. And then also, just to give you all an update on who the star players are around the league, here's a look at some of the guys. I mean, we've got a ton of talent. I wanted to make sure that Kobe Bryant wasn't retired yet, but nah, he's still in the league. He's with the Portland Trailblazers. And in terms of who the Blazers have, yeah, man, still like Nick Batum, Greg Oden. Not a crazy supporting cast, but they got Kobe, so they definitely have a chance at least making the playoffs. So looking at the All-Star teams, it's Team Bron and Team Dwight. Kobe's on the All-Star team as well. You got John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins. No guys who are making it. Oh, wait, no. We got Anthony Davis making the All-Star team for the first time as a starter. Man, Anthony Davis taking a huge jump as an all-star starter for the first time on the all-star team. That's tough, man. Russell Westbrook repeats as the MVP of the league. Karl Anthony Towns, Big Purr, ends up winning the Rookie of the Year. Dennis Schroeder is tough for the Boston Celtics. Nikola Jokic is your most improved player for the San Antonio Spurs. Anthony Davis makes the All-NBA first team. Huge season for Anthony Davis. AD ends up making the All-Star starters, All-NBA first team. Really big season for him. Darren Williams, All-NBA third for the Mavs. Remember that run where he won the chip with Utah alongside Boogie? That was crazy. This year, the league leader in scoring was John Wall. Over 33 points per game. Steph Curry close behind. You also had Russ and Joshua Byers right by them as well. So some really good scoring going on around the league. But man, John Wall leading the league in scoring. Steph and Wall were on the same team in Golden State at one point in time. Dwight Howard leads the league in rebounding. You've got Sean Williams, an auto-generated rookie, who's third in the league in rebounding. Dirk Nowitzki up there. He's at seventh with the Boston Celtics. And then you got Steph Curry leading the league in assists, almost leading the league in scoring as well, which makes that even crazier. The league's leading scorer in John Wall is up there in assists as well. DJ Augustine, almost 10 assists per game. And James Harden rounds out the top 10 in assists. All right, we've got to go ahead and take a look at the top teams. Then we'll get into the NBA playoffs. And we've got the Washington Wizards, who have been the number one seed in the Eastern Conference, I believe, 3 years in a row now. The Brooklyn Nets are number 2, so maybe we'll get a Russ versus KD matchup out east. The Pistons are third in the Eastern Conference, and the Boston Celtics with Bron, Dirk, and of course Dennis Schroeder are the 4th seed. Then out west, the Memphis Grizzlies are number 1. They moved Hayward to the bench, which is kind of a questionable decision, but it worked out, I guess, because they were the number 1 seed. And then the Thunder with Dwight, they're the 3rd seed. And your 4th seed in the West is the New Orleans Pelicans. AD just had a monster season. He's alongside Powell in the front court. So a pretty cool front court there. That'd be interesting because Powell, he could step out and shoot the 3. And then, of course, AD could dominate in the paint. Powell could get his in the paint as well. I think that'd be a pretty cool front court duo. Anyway, we've got some Game 7s here. Actually, quite a few of them. We'll start off with the Celtics and Heat Game 7. We've seen 2 of those in real life over the past 2 seasons. But the Boston Celtics are going to go ahead and win by 34 in this one. LeBron James with a 50-piece. Oh my goodness. Dennis Schroeder with 27 and 10. And Dirk also had a really good game. But man, Bron, he had a 50-piece to get his team to the second round. Now we got the Timberwolves and the Oklahoma City Thunder, and it's going to be the Minnesota Timberwolves taking this one home. The Thunder have a really good squad, but they just weren't able to get it done this season. The Minnesota Timberwolves, we might finally see Kevin Love at least make some type of run. K-Love has stayed loyal to Minnesota, so we'll see if that'll pay off in this playoff run. I don't really think it will because that T-Wolves team isn't that crazy. But we've got a Game 7 between the Golden State Warriors and the New Orleans Pelicans. And despite Anthony Davis's really good regular season, the Pelicans fall short. They lost by 45 points. Not really the AD's fault. He had 35. But John Wall and Brandon Roy in the backcourt, just too much for Anthony Davis. I mean, 147 in regulation is kind of nuts, man. Otto Porter contributing for the Warriors as well, just like he was in real life when they went on that championship run. He was a pretty big loss for them when he left for the Raptors in free agency. But the Nets are going to go ahead and gentlemen sweep their opponent. So are the Grizzlies. The Rockets are going to beat the Timberwolves in 6. And then we've got a Game 7 between the Boston Celtics and the Washington Wizards. KD versus LeBron in a Game 7. Both of their seasons on the line. Legacies on the line. Let's see what happens. Kevin Durant has the basketball down the lane, and he gets to the free throw line. Not exactly the most interesting start, but Kevin Durant, he's a great free throw shooter. He hits the first one, and the second one is bottoms as well. So the Wizards are up by 1. Not too bad of a situation for Boston to be in, especially when they have Celtics legend Dennis Schroeder. Schroeder has the basketball. Come Come on, make a play for me. Schroeder, he's not really getting anywhere. Swing the rock, Schroeder. No. Wait, what? He actually made it? Dennis the Menace. He got the bucket. That's tough. Dennis Schroeder goes ahead and gets the bucket to put the Celtics up by a point. Can Kevin Durant respond? KD has the ball up top, guarded by Bron, gets the screen. He swings the rock. That was kind of a bad pass, and Embiid smokes the layup. Dennis Schroeder has the basketball. Nobody else, I'd rather have it right now. Get the rock to Schroeder. Oh no, he made a play. That was a nice assist. And Sasha Vujacic finishes the layup. What a time by Dennis Schroeder. Sasha gets down the lane for the easy lay. And now the Celtics are up by 3 points. Does Kevin Durant have an answer? He pulls the mid-range, a tough look. The Celtics are going to get the rebound at Dennis Schroeder. He has the rock again. He's going to the free throw line. And we know Dennis the Menace is about to hit both of these. He's about to lead the Celtics to a bigger win than his barber got when he made his hairline comeback. Did y'all see Dennis Schroeder's hairline when he was with Atlanta versus what it looks like now? The first free throw drops through, and the second free throw is good as well. The Celtics are up by 5, a Dennis Schroeder masterclass. But do the Wizards have an answer? The KD 3 is good. The Wizards might respond here. It's still within reason. They could make this happen. And the Dennis Schroeder free throw drops through. Another free throw for Schroeder is good. He's just got the ice in his veins. What else can I say? But do the Wizards have another 3 in them? Does KD have another 3 in him? No, he pulls the mid-range. It's off. And yeah, this one's pretty much wrapped. The Celtics are going to get the dub. What a performance from Schroeder, man. He took over in crunch time. JaVale McGee tried, KD tried, but their season is over. 21 for Schroeder. Sasha Vujacic with 20. Good performances from both of those guys. And the Celtics are moving on to the conference finals. We've also got the Rockets versus the Grizzlies here. Thad Young on that Rockets team. He's an 86 overall. And then we have the Celtics versus the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets have Russell Westbrook and Tyreek Evans. Let's see how these series go. Both of them are tied up at 1 apiece. Rockets are up 2-1 out west. We've got 2 series that are tied up at 2 apiece. We've got 2 Game 7s. Perfect, man. Let's see if we can get some hop-in games here. We'll go ahead and get into the Simcast. And in this one, the Celtics, they dominate. They win by 14 points. Tyreek and Russ both had good individual performances and both had good playoff runs, but wasn't enough. Dirk's going to take it home. Bron's going to take it home. And they're going to the NBA Finals. Hey, Schroeder's going to take it home. Y'all saw the 25 from Schroeder. Now we got a Game 7 between the Rockets and the Grizzlies. And the Rockets are going to get it done. They're back in the NBA Finals. Bron is in the Finals. Harden versus Bron. Or should I say James versus James. You see what I did there? Ah, ha, ha. All right, bro, my bad. It's not that funny, but we're just deep into the recording, bro. There's going to be some bad jokes. I'm not all hits, no misses, bro. Trust me. These jokes are just terrible. But we got the NBA Finals here. Game 1 goes to Boston. Game 2 goes to the Rockets. Game 3 to the Rockets. I accidentally pressed sim round, but the Rockets get it done in 6. James Harden gets a chip and a Finals MVP. That's his second chip and his first Finals MVP. 2016 draft time. The first overall pick by the Clippers is Benjamin Simmons. Ben Simmons is a Clipper. Number 2 is DeJounte Murray to the Chicago Bulls. Number 3, the Denver Nuggets are going to select Jaylen Brown. Brandon Ingram builds upon that Suns young core. Brogdon going to the Hornets, Sabonis to the Cavs, Siakam to the Sixers, Murray to the Jazz. Number 9, Dwight Howard Jr. Dwight's still in the league, but Dwight Howard Jr.'s on the Lakers. Lockdown defender Chris Dunn to the Spurs, and Fred VanVleet to the Orlando Magic. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for the picks that we're looking at. DeAndre Bembry also goes 12th overall to the Indiana Pacers. Taurean Prince to the Bucks. Cool stuff there, but the Clippers, man. They add Ben Simmons. They got D-Wade, Blake Griffin, Darren Collison. They've got a team over there. So they should really start making some noise now that they've added Ben. And look at the Suns' young core. Could you imagine adding B.I. when you already have all these other guys? They've got a ton, and I mean a ton of potential. I feel like they should have reached it by now, but hey, we'll see what happens. We've got free agency. Darren Williams is the headlining player. He's been hooping in this video, man. And we've also got guys like D-Wade, Dirk, Russell Westbrook. We'll see what decisions these guys make and where they're about to go. Simulate a couple days into free agency, and most of the big names are off the board. Russell Westbrook going to the Lakers. Darren Williams to the T-Wolves to team up with K Love. D-Wade goes to the Mavs. Dirk goes to the Blazers. But Kobe's on the Clippers now. I thought Kobe and Dirk were going to team up, but they're not. Harden returns to the Rockets. AD returns to the Pels. K-Love was tired of the Timberwolves, but that was when he finally would have got some help. And now he's on the Pistons teaming up with Steph Curry. Kobe's with Blake Griffin and Ben Simmons on the Clippers. But yeah, now the Pistons, they have Kevin Love and Steph Curry alongside each other. Blazers got like Nick Batum, Greg Oden, pretty much the same or a similar supporting cast to what Kobe was working with. So not too crazy. But we're going to go ahead and get to the All-Star teams. They changed it to where the All-Star teams weren't a draft anymore, so I just got to read down the list. I'm definitely, going back on that rule change, reverting that rule change, because, bro, it's annoying to look at the All-Star teams like this. There's no pictures. I just got to read all these names and stuff, bro. This isn't reading class. This is NBA 2K23. But also, remember how I said I didn't realize that they changed it to where you had to be 21 or whatever to enter the draft? I went ahead and reverted that rule change as well, while also reverting the All-Star team rule change. So, yeah, we're going to go on that pretty much back to normal. Let's go ahead and let's get into the postseason. The MVP of the league is LeBron James. King James, the kid from Akron, wins the MVP for the Boston Celtics. Ben Simmons wins the Rookie of the Year for the Clippers. CJ, Sixth Man of the Year. A DPOY for Bron as well on top of the MVP. John Wall and Russ are your All-NBA guards. You got Bron, Melo, AD on the All-NBA first team. All-NBA second, you got Jokic, KD, Kawhi, Steph, James Harden. James Harden's playing 2K. James Harden. You see what I did there? I was kind of cooking. Rodney Stuckey's on All-NBA third team alongside Kobe Bryant. Here's the all defensive teams. I'm not reading out all those names because, defense is cool, but offense is better, right? Offense wins championships. That's what they've always said. But let's go ahead and let's check out the league leaders. Carmelo Anthony, at the ripe young age of 32, goes ahead and leads the league in scoring. I feel like Bron and like Melo and all those other guys should be older, but they're not really that old. They're kind of like right at the tail end of their primes at this point. I mean, Bron, he's kind of different because he's like, 38, and he's still hooping at such a high level in real life. But, most guys, they're at like the tail end of their prime at 32. I guess Bron's just kind of like, like an outlier. That's what I was looking for. But, well, here's the leaders in assists, the rebounds, whoop-de-doop. Y'all have seen this at this point. A lot of guys, they rebound the ball, they pass the ball, they get assists, that basketball stuff, Let's go ahead and let's check out the NBA standings, though. Number 1 in the Eastern Conference was the Pistons. Steph Curry and Kevin Love teaming up. Wasn't there that rumor about how one time they could have traded Clay for Kevin Love, but they didn't do it? Boston Celtics are number 2. The duo, Bron and Dirk. KD's Wizards, number 3. And the Knicks are 4th. Rodney Stuckey's Knicks, of course. The New York Pelicans, bro, I'm out of it, bro. The New Orleans Pelicans with Powell and AD are number 1. The Portland Trail Blazers are the 2nd seed. The Houston Rockets are the 3rd seed. And the Golden State Warriors with John Wall, Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge, they are the 4th seed. All right, we'll go ahead and simulate some of these first-round matchups, and a lot of them are pretty close. Oh, my goodness, we have 4 Game 7s. Every series in the West went out to a Game 7. Oh, my gosh. Okay, this is kind of crazy. I accidentally simmed this Bucks-Wizards one, but okay. We've got a ton of Game 7s to go ahead and watch. This Bucks-Wizards one wasn't even close. KD and Embiid went down in this one. Jamal Crawford tried, but he couldn't carry KD, man. So the Bucks are moving on, a huge Game 7 win for them. And then out west, we've got a Game 7 between Sacramento and Houston, one of many Game 7s in the West. and the champion Rockets are able to get it done. The Rockets have 2 championships throughout this sim. They've got that experience. They've got that dog in them, so they were able to go out there and get the dub. They've got Cavs legend Mo Williams. It was pretty much just too easy for them against the Sacramento Kings. A playoff P performance, only 14 points. Come on now, man. And we've got a couple more matchups to check into in the West. We've got the Warriors versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. And it's going to be Golden State winning by 12. Brandon Roy and John Wall is just such a nice duo in terms of scoring, and they were able to get it done. They've also got LaMarcus Aldridge over there in Golden State. They've got an absolute squad, and so do the Thunder, to their credit. They have a really good team, but just weren't able to get it done in this one. Now we're going to head back out east. We've got Boston and Philadelphia here in Game 7, and oh my goodness, did the Sixers get cooked. They lost by 42 points in Game 7. Their leading scorer was John Brockman with 16 points. Pascal Siakam's spin moves weren't working, only 10 points, but he's young. He's only a 79 overall. Dion Waiters, the 0 for 100 quote where he was like, I'd rather go 0 for 100 than 0 for 9 because that means I stopped shooting. He took that too literally. Bro shot 4 for 19, Mo Space 4 for 15, Drew Holiday 3 for 14. What happened? And of course, it's Dennis Schroeder, man. Big game Dennis. He had 27 points and 11 assists. He came to play. Bron shot 6 for 20, but you don't even have to worry because Schroeder was there to bail him out. Now we've got another Game 7. Man, it's getting tiring. There's just so many of them. And the Lakers are going to beat the Blazers by 20 points. Dirk with 18 on 5 for 16 shooting. Not exactly a great game for Dirk Nowitzki. And the Blazers are going to go down to the Los Angeles Lakers. They did recently add Russell Westbrook, so Russ was just out there hooping, man. He's been putting up some ridiculous numbers in this simulation, and he was able to get the job done in Game 7. Rondo and Russ playing together with the Lakers. Rondo, he's going to be a key player if the Lakers want to make a deep playoff run in this simulation. Now we've got the Grizzlies and the Pels, and the Grizzlies are able to get it done, man. AD and Powell just haven't been able to have too much playoff success. Anthony Davis has been going crazy in the sim. They even got OJ Mayo, who has J.R. Smith's picture for some reason. But Anthony Davis just hasn't been able to have a lot of playoff success in this video. They even picked up Zach Randolph, man. They've kind of got a really nice team there, but this Grizzlies team is crazy. They got Brad Beal, Gordon Hayward, Kawhi Leonard. They've definitely got a nice big three, and unfortunately for AD, they end up losing as the number 1 seed. The Warriors are going to go out and sweep the Grizzlies, and the Celtics are going to gentlemen sweep the Bucks, but we've got more competitive series between the Lakers and the Houston Rockets, and the Knicks and the Sixers. They were kind of competitive, but the Knicks ended up winning in 6. In Game 7, though, between the Lakers and the Houston Rockets, the Los Angeles Lakers go out there and lose by 5 points. James Harden didn't have a crazy game, but it was good enough. They go ahead and win. There was nobody really playing too crazy from either team in this game. It was kind of a mid-Game 7, but I guess that was good enough for the Houston Rockets to advance to the conference finals. We've got the Knicks versus the Celtics. Rodney Stuckey and Kristaps Porzingis facing off against LeBron James. And then you had the Houston Rockets versus the Golden State Warriors. Brandon Roy and John Wall versus James Harden and Klay Thompson. Game 1 goes to Golden State out west. Both series tied up at 1 apiece. Houston is up 2-1. We're tied up at 2-2 out west. It's 3-2 here, and both series are going to get done in 6. John Wall leads the Golden State Warriors to the finals, and LeBron James does the same for his Boston Celtics. Now, are the Celtics going to be able to get it done? Is Bron going to be able to get a ring? It's not looking like it so far. The Warriors are up 3-0, and LeBron James gets swept by John Wall and Brandon Roy. This one is over. Let's get to the NBA draft. This is 2017. Number 1 overall is De'Aaron Fox. to the Charlotte Hornets. Number 2 to the Chicago Bulls is Donovan Mitchell teaming up with DeJounte Murray. Number 3, Jason Tatum. He's going to the Indiana Pacers. Kyle Kuzma adds to the Suns' young core. Bam is going to the Cavs. At number 6, we have the Jazz, who trade their pick for Brandon Jennings. And the Milwaukee Bucks, with that 6th overall pick, select Dennis Smith Jr., so they're getting younger at their point guard spot. Number 7 is John Collins to Orlando. Number 8 is Lauri Markkanen to the Atlanta Hawks. Lonzo Ball is in San Antonio. He's going to be playing alongside Jokic. Frank Ntilikina to the Nets. Jared Allen to the Nuggets. Markelle to the Mavs. Josh Jackson also goes to the Nuggets as well. So a pretty eventful draft. But things could get even crazier as we enter free agency. We'll probably see some big name players move teams because we've seen that so much throughout this video. We've got LeBron, Dwight, Boogie, Powell, Brandon Roy, a lot of guys who could be moving on to their next roster. But you know what I just realized? I haven't really been checking on the player retirements. So, oh man, Kobe and Tim retired, and Dirk. Okay, we had a crazy retirement class. I'm glad I checked on that because I didn't see any of those guys in free agency because, yeah, they're not free agents. They all ended up retiring. Man, that's crazy. They were all still high overalls and hooping, but they all decided to call it a career there. Now, we've got free agency, though. And, yeah, I mentioned some of the star names that are here in free agency. A lot of guys who could move the needle in terms of contention for some of these rosters. And after simulating a couple days of free agency, LeBron James is back in Boston. Dwight's in Portland. DeMarcus returns to Utah. Powell returns to the Pels. And Brandon Roy goes to the Hawks. Coming off the chip, he goes to the Hawks. Paul George goes to the Clippers. And the Clippers pick up Brad Beal. And they re-sign Blake Griffin. So they have those 3 guys. And they also have Ben Simmons. So they were pretty active in free agency. The Celtics roster still isn't that good. I don't know why LeBron didn't decide to go somewhere else. And Dwight's in Portland. It seems like the Portland Trailblazers have just been able to pick up one star after the other, but they can never team up 2 of them at once. This year at the All-Star game, we saw Gordon Hayward make his first All-Star team and Rodney Stuckey make one of many All-Star teams. He's just been on an absolute tear. Andre Drummond also made his first All-Star team, so that's really good to see. He's been in Chicago throughout the entirety of his NBA career and is now an 89 overall. DeMarcus Cousins and AD are both All-Star starters. You see John Wall, Dwight Howard is the All-Star captain, and Bron, of course, he's been the All-Star captain, I feel like, for quite some time now. Steph Curry is the MVP of the league with the Pistons. Steph gets one with them. He hasn't been making a ton of noise, but maybe that'll start with the MVP. Ben Simmons, 6th Man of the Year. De'Aaron Fox is the Rookie of the Year. Dwight Howard, DPOY. Victor Oladipo is the Most Improved Player. A lot of the same guys on the All-NBA teams here. Crazy that at this point in the sim, guys like KD and Russ are only 29 years old. Kawhi Leonard is only 26. And Dennis Schroeder is having an incredible career thus far. So is Tyreek Evans. Even Gordon Hayward is All-NBA, and he's had a ton of injury issues in his career, but because we have injuries off and it's a 2K simulation, things have gotten kind of crazy. I mean, Dennis Schroeder is 5th in the league in scoring, and with all due respect, man, Dennis Schroeder, he's never been 5th in the league in scoring in real life, but he's doing it here. Big Purr, 2nd in the league in rebounding. We also see Joel Embiid at 6th. He's starting to improve a lot, which is going to be huge with him playing next to Kevin Durant. KD getting another 90 plus in his supporting cast is going to be huge for him. Having that dynamic duo type of guy he can play alongside of. Rodney Stuckey, 8th in assist. Edward McNeil's been up here, this auto-generated dude. He's been getting a lot of assists. And the Detroit Pistons, find themselves at the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. The Steph Curry and Kevin Love duo getting the job done in the regular season. The Dennis Schroeder and Bron duo. And then you've got the Wizards, like I was talking about. They got Joel. Even JaVale McGee's an 83 overall off the bench. Kristaps Porzingis is developing well for the Knicks alongside Rodney Stuckey. And then the Clippers, the number 1 seed. Not too surprising. Look at this roster. They were even able to add Mike Conley to the team. The Dallas Mavericks, they've got Eric Gordon, D. Wade, McCollum, and they've got Trevor Ariza coming off the bench. The 3rd seed, the Lakers, led by Russell Westbrook. They've got 86 overall Jeff Teague coming off the bench. They've got some solid depth on that roster. And the Grizzlies still getting it done, even with Bradley Beal leaving the roster. Let's go ahead and let's simulate the first round. One team that goes out early is the Sixers. I feel like they've been losing quite a bit in the first round throughout this video. The Clippers are going to make easy work of their first round matchup, and the Denver Nuggets. The Portland Trail Blazers are going to get out of the first round. And out east, the Bucks also went ahead and gentlemen swept the Knicks. We have a Game 7 between the Rockets and Lakers where it's Russ versus Harden, and Russ takes over in this one. A huge Avery Bradley game, a really good Jeff Teague game, and that was a recipe for success, as while James Harden had a good game for Houston, nobody else really stepped up. And in the Eastern Conference, we got a Game 7, a 1-8 Game 7, and the Hawks are going to pull the upset against the Pistons. So while Steph Curry was finally able to make it as a 1 seed and had a great regular season, he couldn't get it done in the playoffs. I mean, it doesn't look like it was much to his fault, as he was having a great first round, but he's going to go ahead and lose. Steph Curry's season is over. The K-Love and Steph duo wasn't able to get it done in the NBA playoffs, while Brandon Roy in Atlanta pulls the upset, averaging 31 points per game in the first round. He's playing alongside J.R. Smith, and they got the job done. There was also this Game 7 between Miami and Boston lost to the Heat, led by Carmelo Anthony. So the 7 seed goes ahead and takes down the 2 seed out east. Russell Westbrook's Lakers are the first team to make it out of the second round, and then the Blazers follow. We've got a matchup between Dwight Howard and Russell Westbrook. Dwight Howard versus Dwight Howard Jr., oh man. And then we've got the Bucks versus the Miami Heat. The Heat have Carmelo Anthony and Chris Bosh, while the Bucks have Michael Beasley and Hassan Whiteside. We'll see if Beasley can get the job done. The Blazers are cooking the Lakers right now, but maybe the Lakers can make the comeback. Nope, they're going to lose in 6, and Melo's Heat are also going to move on to the finals. So we have Dwight Howard versus Carmelo Anthony. Man, this is set to be an interesting one. Dwight Howard, he's a guy who has already gotten a ring in this video. I don't think we've seen Melo get one, but it looks like that might not change, as the Blazers are up 3-1 in the series, and they're going to get the job done. Dwight Howard is your finals MVP. I believe that is his 2nd championship of the video. And at the end of the season, Joe Johnson decides to retire. He was with Atlanta for pretty much all of this video. He went to Chicago for 1 season, but poetically decided to go back to the Hawks for his farewell tour. But now it's time for the 2018 draft, where the Kings get a second chance at Luka. In real life, they passed up on him, but in 2K, they went ahead and drafted him. Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to Charlotte. Trae Young going to Indiana. DeAndre Ayton joining the Toronto Raptors. At 5, the Cleveland Cavaliers pick Wendell Carter Jr. At 6, Marvin Bagley is going to Utah. Mikal Bridges to Chicago. The Brooklyn Nets get the steal of the draft, drafting Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 8. Mo Bamba goes to the Magic once again. The Pelicans at number 10 are going to trade their pick, and they're trading that pick for and a future second for LaMarcus Aldridge. Okay, that's a solid pickup for them. And the Cavs are going to get Colin Sexton again. Michael, the possession ends here, Porter Jr. goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and Dame Jr. goes to the Suns. Ironically, Dame Sr. is on the Phoenix Suns as well, so it's funny how that works out. There's Anthony Simons going to OKC as well. Now, let's go ahead and let's jump to free agency, where we once again have some big names who could be changing teams. It looks like KD might be doing exactly that. We've also got Chris Paul looking to go to Washington. Maybe KD should have just stayed put there, but they probably wouldn't have had the money to both get CP3 and Kevin Durant. Regardless, we'll see if Chris Paul sticks by his decision and goes to Washington. Oh my goodness, Kevin Durant goes to the Grizzlies. Chris Paul goes to Washington. Kyrie to the Nuggets. Melo to the Suns. Kawhi to the Jazz. Hayward stays with the Grizzlies, so KD and Hayward will be on the same team. Embiid returns to the Wizards, so he'll be playing with Chris Paul. The Miami Heat pick up Kemba Walker. Lance Stevenson goes to Sacramento. A lot of player movement. But you look at that Memphis Grizzlies team, they've got KD and Hayward, so it might not hurt so bad that they lost Kawhi Leonard, considering that they picked up KD in free agency. And in Washington, the Wizards are able to replace Kevin Durant with the prime Chris Paul, so that kind of works out for them. I mean, KD's a better player, but at least they got a really good player in Chris Paul. And then looking at the Pelicans, they still have this duo of Anthony Davis and Pau Gasol, and they made that trade to pick up LaMarcus Aldridge, so we'll see if they can do anything. The Nuggets pick up Kyrie Irving, so we'll see what he can do. Doesn't have too much of a supporting cast, but I kind of just want to show you all around the league with what's going on. This Magic team could maybe make some noise. They've got a solid squad. The Kings are led by Lance Stevenson. The Jazz have Boogie and Kawhi, so that's a pretty cool duo. The Heat have Kemba and Bosh. The Clippers have a big three here with Bradley Beal, Blake Griffin, and Paul George. Plus, they also have Ben Simmons. The Celtics got the duo of Bron and Schroeder, and the Sixers picked up Dion Waiters. All right, let's go ahead and let's get to another season. I'm excited to see how the league is affected by all of this player movement. We see Joel Embiid make his first All-Star team. Bradley Beal does the same. Kemba also making his first All-Star team at the age of 28. Kristaps Porzingis is here as well. He's been playing great basketball with the New York Knicks. Remember, they actually traded for the second pick to go ahead and draft him. Bradley Beal going crazy with the scoring, 31 a game so far this season. Derrick Rose off the All-Star bench in Orlando. Jokic putting up some monster numbers for the San Antonio Spurs. A lot of developments going on around the league as we head into another playoff run. It's Steph Curry winning his second MVP, I believe, putting up some monster numbers. Luka Doncic is the Rookie of the Year in Sacramento. Ben's the Sixth Man of the Year with the Clippers. Bron DPOY. DeJounte Murray Most Improved. We see Steph make the All-NBA first team. I feel like we've seen all these guys on All-NBA first before. Kyrie is on All-NBA second this season, and Kemba takes the leap to All-NBA second as well. Brad Beal and Ben Simmons are All-NBA, despite Ben coming off the bench for the Clippers. And with that said, the Clippers are the number one seed this season. They have an absolute squad. All right, let's go ahead and let's check out the league stats. Steph Curry by far was the league's leading scorer. He had a monster season en route to an MVP. That was fire. I said en route, and I used it properly. I've got it cooking. Hassan Whiteside leads the league in rebounds. Man, y'all forget Hassan Whiteside used to put up some ridiculous stat lines with his rebounding and his blocks. Kevin Love rounds out the top 10 in boards. Chris Paul is number one in assists for this season. Steph Curry is third, despite leading the league in scoring, which is pretty crazy. Rondo is eighth while coming off the bench in Washington. He's backing up his good buddy Chris Paul. Man, the teammate chemistry there has to be immaculate. All right, we'll go ahead and check out some of the best teams in the league this season. Out east, it was the Heat, the Bosh and Kemba duo. I underestimated them. I didn't expect them to be that good. The Pistons were number 2 in the East. The Wizards were number 3. I mean, they have Rondo backing up Chris Paul, and they got a sharpshooter in J.J. Redick along with Joel Embiid. They got a nice team, man. The Western Conference, you got the Los Angeles Clippers at number 1. Not really a big surprise there. KD's Grizzlies are number 2. Him and Hayward teaming up. The Lakers are number 3. They got Avery Bradley, Jabari Parker, Russell Westbrook. The Utah Jazz are number 4 with their duo of Boogie and Kawhi. They have D'Lo coming off the bench for some reason, despite Ty Lawson only being an 84 and starting, and D'Lo being an 87. So That's kind of weird. And this year we only get one Game 7. It's in the Eastern Conference between the New York Knicks and the Milwaukee Bucks. And in this one, the New York Knicks are going to take it home just barely. Maybe I should have hopped in the Simcast, but KP with a 40 ball to go ahead and close out the Milwaukee Bucks. So the Knicks are going to advance to the second round. What a performance from Kristaps Porzingis. Clutch time for him. He goes ahead and wins that game. Now in the second round, we've got an upset looming. Oh my goodness, the Clippers, they actually go ahead and lose against the Utah Jazz. And we got a Game 7 between the Bulls and Wizards. And the Wizards work their magic in Game 7, man. Joel Embiid, 20 and 15. Chris Paul with 7 turnovers in a Game 7. This is nothing new. Andre Drummond, 17 and 10. He tried to lead his team, but 7 for 20 shooting as a center is crazy. Donovan Mitchell, 4 for 13 in the Game 7. So they just couldn't get the job done. Now, we've got the Wizards and the Miami Heat here. Chris Paul and Joel Embiid versus Chris Bosh and Kemba Walker. And then out west, we have the Utah Jazz versus the Los Angeles Lakers. DeMarcus Cousins and Kawhi Leonard versus Russell Westbrook. Game 1 goes to the Lakers. The Lakers are dominating early on. Do the Jazz have some fight in them? The Lakers are up 3-1 and they gentlemen sweep. While out east, the Wizards are going to get it done in 6. Russell Westbrook is your conference MVP for the West, while Chris Paul is your conference MVP for the East. Chris Paul versus Russ here in the NBA Finals. Let's see who goes ahead and gets this chip. Game 1 to the Lakers, Game 2 to the Wizards, Game 3 goes to the Wizards, and we're all tied up at 2 apiece. This Game 5 is going to be absolutely huge for the series, and the Lakers are going to take it. A Jabari Parker masterclass to go ahead and get the Lakers the dub. Russell Westbrook with 26 and 16, so a good game for him. But where is Chris Paul? Oh man, 10 points in a pivotal game, but we're headed to a Game 7. At least the Wizards were able to force that. We'll see who can take this one. In the fourth quarter, it's pretty close. We're going to be able to get a jump-in game. This is exactly what I wanted to see here in the NBA Finals. Let's go ahead and get the camera situated, everything else. All right, man, we're good to go. The Washington Wizards have the basketball, 1:08 remaining. Chris Paul has the ball up top, guarded by Russell Westbrook. Can he get a screen or something? Okay, yeah, here comes the screen. No. Okay, there you go, JaVale. JaVale sets the screen, a fadeaway 3 for Chris Paul, and it's off. But JaVale gets the board. He pulls the mid-range, and he misses. Why would you pull the mid-range? And now the Lakers, they're moving in transition. Can they get a bucket here? The ball goes over to Avery Bradley, back to Jeff Teague. Jeff Teague has the basketball, down to Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook with the post fade, and it's off. But the rebound goes to Greg Oden, and Greg Oden is at the free throw line, shooting some pivotal free throws here. The first one is off. Come on, Greg. You got to hit one of these for the Lakers, and he does. He drops one of them, splits the trip to the line, and now the Washington Wizards are kind of in the driver's seat here with JJ Redick going to the free throw line. He's a good free throw shooter. He should be able to hit both of these. The first one drops, and the second one does the same. The Washington Wizards are up by 6 with a little over 30 seconds remaining. The Wizards are in a good spot, but maybe the Lakers can go ahead and get a bucket. I guess they called a timeout to try and draw up some type of play. Let's see who they get the ball into. I would probably go to Russ, but then again, it is a three-pointer, so maybe not. Jeff Teague has the basketball, and he's going to the rim, and he missed. I don't know what the plan was there, so this game is pretty much over. The Wizards are going to get it done in Game 7. 30 from Russ on bad efficiency. Jabari Parker had a solid game, but they weren't able to get the job done. After a pretty eventful finals, Chris Paul is going to get a ring, and Joel Embiid ends up being the finals MVP this time. I guess because Chris Paul did have some kind of rough games in this finals. Even the closeout game wasn't that crazy for Paul. I mean, 6 turnovers with 11 assists isn't that good. So he doesn't end up getting a finals MVP. And Embiid gets that, which is pretty impressive considering he's still pretty young. But now it's time for the 2019 draft, a pretty popular draft. Zion Williamson and Ja Morant being the headlining guys. And also in the offseason, Pau Gasol decided to call it a career. Pretty important considering he's been playing alongside Anthony Davis all of those years in New Orleans. All right, let's go ahead and get to the NBA draft. Number 1 overall, the Philadelphia 76ers select Zion Williamson. Number 2, Ja. He goes to the Nets to team up with SGA. Number 3 is RJ. He's going to the Cleveland Cavaliers. At 4, the Atlanta Hawks select Darius Bazley. Kobe White goes to the Pacers at 5. At 6, the Cavs select Eric Pascal. At 7, the Utah Jazz are trading their pick. Who are they trading it for? They're going to get Monte Ellis and Trevor Ariza. They also traded some guy named Kirk Oliver. And the Warriors are going to select PJ Washington. The Raptors pick up Darius Garland. That's a good pickup. They've been building a sneaky young core. The Suns add to their young core by drafting Jordan Poole. Cam Reddish is going to Cleveland. They had a couple first-round picks in this year's draft. A pretty eventful draft. Now, one issue is, as we get towards the end of this simulation, I mean, this is the 2019 draft, and we're simulating up until the modern day. These guys aren't going to have a ton of time to make a huge impact on the league, so the drafts are going to start to matter less and less. The Cavs had a lot of picks in this year's draft, and they're adding to their young core that they've kind of already been building, so we'll see what happens there. Then you look at the Clippers. Man, this team is ridiculous. We've got some teams that are looking to build powerhouses around the league. I mean, I'm going to be watching out for the Brooklyn Nets with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Ja Morant. That duo could be ridiculous. And then you have the Toronto Raptors, who have DeAndre Ayton. They also recently drafted Darius Garland, so you got to watch out for that team as well. Now it's time for NBA free agency. Derrick Rose is a free agent this year, and it's looking like he might go to Minnesota. John Wall doesn't even have any offers. K-Love doesn't have any big offers, but I'm sure after we simulate a little bit, that's probably going to change. And after simulating towards the end of free agency, to be sure that these guys do end up on teams, they did end up getting their next destinations. Michael Beasley hasn't yet, though. Derrick Rose goes to Minnesota to team up with Kevin Love. D. Rose and K. Love are teaming up in Minnesota. That's a pretty nice duo. So Derrick Rose, he's going to be playing with Kevin Love instead of Steph Curry. Steph Curry was playing alongside K. Love for a little bit, and they were pretty successful in the regular season. Never really had a ton of playoff success, but we'll see if K. Love can find that success playing alongside Derrick Rose. Also, Darren Williams ends up teaming up with Anthony Davis, which is definitely a welcome sight for AD, considering he just lost Pau to retirement. Miles Turner makes his first All-Star team this season with the Charlotte Hornets. He's up to an 87, and DeMar DeRozan actually finally makes an All-Star team at the age of 29. He's just, I guess, been kind of developing slowly, but he's finally able to get the job done there. Kemba is an All-Star starter, putting up ridiculous numbers with the Miami Heat. Russell Westbrook continues to go crazy. He's an All-Star captain this season, and by the end of the year, we see Kemba named the league MVP. Kemba, his career ended up being derailed by injuries, but here, he's the MVP of the league. Zion's the Rookie of the Year, and Ben Simmons, he's still coming off the bench for the Clippers, which is kind of crazy. Trae Young is most improved. Al Thomas is the Coach of the Year. Here's the All-NBA first teams. Kind of surprising to see Kemba taking this huge leap, especially considering he's almost 30 at this point. But hey, he's doing it. Ben Simmons is coming off the bench and making the All-NBA second team. That Clippers team is an absolute powerhouse. Melo also joined the Suns, and they've already got some good young players, so have to watch out for Phoenix as well. But we'll get more into that when we check out some of the teams and who's on the rosters and all that. But in terms of league leaders, it was Kemba Walker by far leading the league in scoring. Anthony Davis was second. He had Darren Williams to play make for him. DeMar DeRozan was also up there. He stayed loyal to Toronto throughout the entirety of this video. The league leader in rebounds was DeMarcus Cousins, closely followed by Anthony Davis and Andre Drummond. Big Purr continues to be up there, and Joel Embiid rounds out the top 10. Chris Paul leads the league in scoring, probably getting a lot of dimes, passing the ball to Joel Embiid. Mike Conley's on a minimum contract, but he's 5th in the league in assists, and Damian Lillard is also up there, rounding out the top 10. Now let's check out the NBA standings. I wanted to see how these teams were doing, and it's the Miami Heat at number 1. Kemba, he's on a crazy run right now, leading his Heat to the number 1 seed. Number 2 is the Washington Wizards. They're coming off a chip. The Milwaukee Bucks are the 3rd seed. Where's my guy Michael Beasley, man? I don't see him. But the Orlando Magic, they've got Giannis Antetokounmpo, and they're the 4th seed. The Clippers, they're the 1st seed, led by Alex Caruso. Good stuff there. The 2nd seed are the Utah Jazz with D'Angelo Russell, Kawhi Leonard, and DeMarcus Cousins. Oh my goodness. And they got the depth. They've got an absolute squad. Kyrie Irving, his Denver Nuggets are the 3rd seed. He's playing alongside Jaylen Brown. The Phoenix Suns are the 4th seed. And y'all see the young core. The guys are starting to develop. They could definitely make some noise. If not this year, maybe next year. Let's go ahead and simulate the first round. We got a battle of LA out west. And the Lakers might actually upset the 1-seeded Clippers. This Clippers team has been pretty disappointing so far, but before we see what happens in that matchup, let's go ahead and let's simcast this Raptors-Magic matchup. And the Raptors, they're able to get it done. A big win for them as they advance past the first round. They haven't made a ton of playoff noise so far in this video, but their guys are starting to develop. They've got DeMar DeRozan leading the way for them. I think there's a lot of potential for this team to continue to get better, and this is the first step in that, making it out of the first round. Darius Garland having a good first-round playoff series despite a kind of tough Game 7. All right, the Lakers do go ahead and upset the Clippers. Russell Westbrook leads his Lakers past the 1 seed, but it looks like his run might end here. Yeah, he gets gentleman swept. Not really anything too eventful going on in the second rounds, either sweeps or gentleman sweeps. And now we've got the Bulls versus the Washington Wizards. This Wizards team has the bigger star in Chris Paul, but the Bulls do have some solid players on their roster as well. The Phoenix Suns are facing the Utah Jazz. Jordan Poole in the starting lineup for Phoenix at only a 75 overall. Kind of crazy to see that. But early on, the Utah Jazz are dominating. They're up 3-1 in the series, and they ultimately end up beating the Suns in 6. While out east, we have a Game 7 between the Chicago Bulls and the Washington Wizards. And in this one, the Wizards are able to win, and it's Rodney Stuckey. Oh, man, I forgot about him. He's back. He's in the finals. Rodney Stuckey. He's going to be facing the Utah Jazz for a chance at an NBA championship. This is exactly what I'm here for. Rodney Stuckey hooping. Oh, my goodness. I've tried not to be too biased throughout this video, but for this series, I am a Chicago Bulls fan. Sorry, Utah. I hope you all lose. I hope it's a sweep. Come on. Let's go, Chicago, man. Game number 1 goes to the Bulls. Come on. Game 2 to the Bulls. Game 3 goes to the Jazz. Uh-oh. The Jazz take 2. Come on. We need a big game from you, Rodney. Let's lead the way. Come on. It's close in the 4th. No. They lost 3 straight, bro. Boogie and Kawhi might be too much. They got Jamal Murray, too. Oh, and they got Monte Ellis. Oh, this team is crazy, bro. We might end up losing. Come on, Rodney. Lock in for me. We need you to go ahead and get this dub. Game 6, your season is on the line. And he's going to respond. Come on. We got a Game 7 here. And in Game 7, no, bro. No, Rodney Stuckey's run ends here in Game 7. It wasn't even that close at the end. They end up winning by 11. D'Angelo Russell, the ice in his veins, 43. DeMarcus Cousins, 38 and 10. Rodney, you tried, man. 29 points. That's really good. Donovan Mitchell had 27. It just wasn't enough, bro. What are you going to do when D'Lo gives you 43? It's all right, man. Lock back in. Come on. You can get back next season, man. But, yeah, that's it for that one. I really wanted to see Rodney Stuckey lead his team to a ring, but I guess it's time for free agency. First, though, I do want to check out player retirements. Some guys are getting old on us. Marcin Gortat retires. JJ Redick retires. Nobody too crazy. So let's go ahead and get to free agency. Bro, I just completely forgot about the draft. Oh, okay, we'll check out the draft in a second. We'll just go over who got picked, but I do want to check out free agency first. It looks like Anthony Davis might be taking his talents to the Los Angeles Lakers. Ben Simmons might be leaving the Clippers. I don't even blame him because he's been in a bench role for that team, so we'll see if he does end up deciding on leaving that roster. But after simulating a couple days of free agency, a lot of the key names are off the board, and Anthony Davis goes to the Lakers. Russell Westbrook joins the Knicks. James Harden stays put with the Thunder, or with the Rockets. Paul George is the one who went to the Thunder. Ben Simmons stays with the Clippers. Bradley Beal goes to the Mavs. Jimmy Butler goes to the Pacers. So, again, quite a bit of player movement this season. But surprisingly, Ben Simmons, I guess he's willing to stay with the Clippers and take that bench role, while Anthony Davis joins the Lakers. He's going to LA. Russell Westbrook is going to New York. A lot of movement going on here. And unfortunately, the Clippers did end up losing a lot of their key guys. So Ben Simmons might find himself in a starting role, but with a lot less talent on the team. And the Nets pick number 1 overall in the 2020 draft, drafting LaMelo Ball. The Nets are ridiculous because they got Ja, Shea, and LaMelo. So they've got like a 3-guard young core. Things can get crazy there, but they don't have a ton of time to go ahead and build upon this. Not many seasons left in the simulation. So those guys, they're going to have to develop quick, but maybe they can make something happen there in Brooklyn. Time for yet another season of virtual basketball, man. I don't know how some of these YouTubers make these long simulation videos. Zion Williamson ends up making an all-star team. But guys, I've been sitting here with my water next to me recording this, bro. Like this has been a long video. If you're this far in the video, comment. We're almost at 2 hours at this point. Just go ahead and comment 2 hours. I appreciate you, man. If you watched this far in the video, that is crazy. Dap me up. Dap me up, man. That's wild, bro. I appreciate y'all if you made it this far into the video. But at the end of the season, Anthony Davis, in his first season with the Los Angeles Lakers, is the MVP of the league. James Wiseman, Rookie of the Year with the Pistons. Ironically, because he's with the Pistons right now in real life, Zach LaVine is a 6th man. LeBron's been winning a lot of DPOYs. And Mo Bamba is the most improved player this season. The All-NBA first teams, we see Kyrie Irving, we see KD, Bron, Chris Paul, some of the normal guys. Ben Simmons, All-NBA second team with the Clippers. And then you've even got Luka Doncic, who's making an early jump in his career. Also, Zion, he's another guy, one of those young players who's making an impact immediately. He goes ahead and makes an all-star team in just his second season. Rudy Gobert's on all defensive. All right. Let's go ahead and let's check out the league leaders. Y'all know the drill at this point. We have been simulating for quite some time, and it's Bradley Beal getting buckets, the only guy in the league averaging 30 points per game. And then here's the rest of the players who are following suit. Not as high of a scoring season this year, but hey, guys were still getting their buckets. Really, there might not have been as much scoring just because there's so much talent distributed across the league that the top scorers aren't going to score as much just because there's so many good players on each team. I hope that made sense. I think that made sense. Chris Paul leads the league in assists. I feel like we've seen him do this so many times. Lonzo Ball, though, 4th in the league in assists, so that's cool to see. I feel like we haven't seen too much from Lonzo throughout this video, but there he goes. And John Wall rounds out the top 10 in assists. All right, let's go ahead and check out the NBA standings for this season. Rodney Stuckey, the revenge season. It's the Chicago Bulls. Where's he at, though? Is he not on the team anymore? Man, come on. But the Philadelphia 76ers are the 2nd seed. The Washington Wizards are the 3rd seed. We've seen the Wizards in the mix for quite some time with their duo of CP3 and Joel Embiid. And then you've got the Atlanta Hawks at the 4th spot. For the Western Conference, you have the Utah Jazz, who are number 1. They have a really good team. Jamal Murray starting to develop more. The Suns are also really, really good, especially because they have Melo on this roster with all these young guys. This team is ridiculous. And then the Oklahoma City Thunder are 3rd. They've got Paul George. The Lakers with Jeff Teague, Avery Bradley, Anthony Davis. They've got a really good team. We'll see if AD, the league's MVP, can make any noise in these playoffs. No, he can't. He got gentleman swept. He got absolutely cooked. I went through this first round way too fast, though, because we have quite a few Game 7s, and I just completely forgot about them. But I told y'all, man, I've been recording this for so long. The fatigue, man, it's getting to me. The fatigue of playing the video game. Nah, I'm playing, bro, but y'all get what I'm saying. I've been sitting here recording for a good little minute. Anyway, you guys can see all these Game 7s and how they ended up going. Kemba Walker had another good playoff run, but it came short because the Chicago Bulls, man, they're looking to make a run. Last year, they made it to the finals, lost in Game 7. Can this year be their revenge year? Our second round matchups are set, though. We're going to go through them pretty quickly. We'll see if we get any Game 7s. Out east, we've got some competitive series, but both of them end up finishing in 6. Now in the conference finals, we have the New York Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers. A young Zion Williamson leading his Sixers deep into the playoffs in only his second season. Now we've got the Utah Jazz versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. This Jazz team has been there and done that in the NBA playoffs. They're coming off of an NBA championship. We'll see if Paul George and the Thunder can take them down. It's a competitive series so far, and we're headed to a Game 7 in both conferences. The Game 7 between the Knicks and the Sixers, it's embarrassing for the Knicks, man. They end up losing by, 21 plus 37? Y'all lost by 58 points? Oh my goodness. Kristaps Porzingis dropped 20, but it looks like he was the only guy who came to play. An absolute monstrosity of a game from the New York Knicks as they lose. And now we got the Game 7 between the Thunder and the Jazz, and the Jazz's playoff experience is just too much for the Thunder. But Zion Williamson, in his second season, is going to lead his Sixers to the NBA Finals to face an established Utah Jazz team that I feel like is going to be pretty tough to beat. Paul George had a really good playoff run for the Thunder, but his run is over here. Now we're going to see if Zion Williamson can make history. Can he do it in his second season? Can he? Game 1 goes to the Jazz. Game 2 goes to the Jazz. It isn't looking okay. Okay, this one might be wrapped. Yep, it's over. Hey, man, I'll give credit where credit's due. Zion Williamson taking his team to the NBA Finals was completely unexpected to me, but he was able to get the job done. Dwayne Wade decides to retire. Andre Iguodala does the same. Luol Deng retires as well. He was on the T-Wolves with D-Wade when he retired. Anyways, let's go ahead and let's get to the NBA draft. Also, Joakim Noah retired. But it's time for the NBA draft. This is 2021. We only have one more draft after this. And although I love making these videos for y'all, thank goodness that this is almost wrapped up because I have been sitting here for way too long. The number 1 pick, Cade Cunningham, goes to the Pistons again, I guess. The number 2 pick, the Nets are going to trade it. Oh, I love this move. They get Miles Turner in the 9th pick. And remember, the Nets already have a lot of really good players, so they're going to establish themselves by getting Miles Turner, but they also still have the 9th pick. That was a really good move for Brooklyn. I really like that one. The Celtics get the 4th pick for Goran Dragic and Aaron Aflalo. Don't love that move because the Celtics should be trying to win now with LeBron, and they just traded away 2 vets, but they're going to go ahead and add Scotty Barnes at 4 and then draft Josh Giddey as well. So they've got some cool young guys next to Bron, but don't really know if that's what you should be going for when, you have LeBron James, the kid from Akron. You should be trying to go ahead and get an NBA championship. But we'll see. Maybe they've got a master plan to go ahead and get some better guys around LeBron James. Now, look at the Brooklyn Nets, man. They go ahead and make the move for Miles Turner. They've got Ja. They've got Shea. This team is crazy. They have LaMelo Ball as well. They're about to make some noise, man. I really hope we can see them do something before the end of this video because their team, it's just built beautifully. They built it to perfection. It's time for another year of free agency. You all should know the drill at this point. Guys get signed to new basketball teams. That's pretty much how it goes. Carmelo Anthony with no offers yet. Kind of surprising to see that. I guess it's because he's a little bit older. But KD's got a ton of offers on the table. He'll probably join another team because he has been team hopping crazily throughout this entire video. But after simulating a little bit of free agency, Kevin Durant is joining the Nuggets. And you know who's in Denver? Kyrie Irving. And also Melo returns to the Suns. They've got that cool young core going, so I like that he returned there. Lonzo goes to the Clippers, and also the Clippers pick up Jaylen Brown, and I believe they still have Ben Simmons, so they could have a squad over there. And then the Sixers end up picking up B.I., so now they're going to have B.I. and Zion. That's a really nice duo. But looking at the Boston Celtics, they just haven't been able to get Bron too much help. Schroeder's been doing everything he can, but they just haven't done a great job building out the roster. The Clippers have a new big three. It seems like they've been really successful in free agency with picking up guys. You've got Russ and KP with the New York Knicks. The Lakers, they've got some solid guys next to AD. Let's go ahead and get to another season where we see Luka Doncic make his first All-Star team. Trey makes it. DeAndre makes it. A bunch of these guys from the 2018 draft are making that leap into their first All-Star team. Luka is already at 95 overall. Ridiculous. Even Ayton, he's a 91. Trey is a 92. All of these guys doing great stuff very early on in their NBA careers. It'll be interesting to see if that translates to winning. We've seen Zion make a finals run, but can these young guys make some noise in the final few years of this video? We've just got this season and then one more season after it, so not too much time left for these young guys to make noise. Cade Cunningham, Rookie of the Year. AD takes home another MVP. D'Lo is a Sixth Man of the Year for the Jazz. AD is also the DPOY. Really good season for him. Let's go ahead and check out the All-NBA teams. You got Kyrie and KD teamed up together with the Denver Nuggets, both making All-NBA first. Great stuff from both of them. That's going to be an exciting duo. Hopefully, we can see some of them in the NBA playoffs. You got Steph and Trey, two guys who have been compared to each other. Well, Trey's been compared to Steph because, you know, people were saying he's the next Steph Curry and all that. Luka makes All-NBA. Schroeder makes another All-NBA team. Schroeder's been hooping in this video, going absolutely crazy. Jimmy Butler's on the Raptors, making an all-defensive squad. Lonzo Ball also makes his way onto the all-defensive team as well. Checking out the league leaders for this season, it was Anthony Davis. AD, the MVP of the league, leading the league in scoring, only guy over 30 a game. Joshua Byers, he's been really good as an undrafted, or not an undrafted, but an auto-generated player. He has played some really good basketball throughout this video. Andre Drummond leads the league in scoring. What did I say earlier on, man? He's one of the best rebounders of all time. Marvin Bagley's even up there for the Utah Jazz. The Jazz have so many guys, man. They've got a lot of good players on their squad. Looking at assists, once again, is CP3. But, hey, Lonzo's starting to make some noise. He made the all-defensive team. He's up there in assists. He's doing some really cool things. Let's go ahead and check out some of the top teams in each conference before we head into the playoffs. Luka's got the Kings at number 1. Okay, this is about to be interesting. The Toronto Raptors are the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. They got Blake Griffin, Jimmy Butler. They've got DeAndre Ayton. That's a really good squad. Darius Garland. The Detroit Pistons, they have Steph Curry, a young Cade Cunningham. They picked up an old Dwight Howard. They're the number 2 seed. The Atlanta Hawks are number 3 with DeJounte Murray, ironically. And then the Washington Wizards are number 4. They picked up Lauri Markkanen to play alongside Chris Paul and Joel Embiid. The Sacramento Kings are the number 1 seed, and I see why. They've got a good team. Lance Stevenson and Luka Doncic leading the way. The Denver Nuggets with KD and Kyrie are number 2 in the West. Number 3 is the Lakers with Anthony Davis, and number 4 is the Clippers. They always find a way to get those star players, man, and it's paying off for them as they're the number 4 seed this year. We're going to go through this first round pretty quickly. Y'all should know the drill at this point. If we get any Game 7s, I'll try to simcast those. We've got one out east and one out west, so let's simcast this Hawks Cavs Game 7, and it looks like it's going to go to the Hawks in convincing fashion. They win by 24 points, and look who it is, man. Michael Beasley, he goes ahead and gets 24 points with 10 rebounds, and Jordan Clarkson with 19. A solid game for him as the Atlanta Hawks go ahead and move on in that one. And then we've got the Houston Rockets and the Sacramento Kings. The Kings were the number 1 seed. Are they going to blow this to the Houston Rockets? Luka, he's not going to blow it as the 1 seed. He gets the job done. I mean, only 18 points in this one, 5 for 5 shooting. I guess he just kind of picked his spots, didn't really shoot the ball too much. But hey, it worked out. Klay Thompson with a big game 7, but outside of Klay and James, just not a lot of scoring, and James kind of had an inefficient game anyways. The Sacramento Kings, they're going to continue their run. There was a game 7 between the Lakers and Warriors in the second round, but it wasn't even close. The Lakers were able to get it done, led by Anthony Davis. So that sets up a Kings-Lakers conference finals, Luka versus AD. We'll see who can get it done here. A young Luka making a conference finals run is crazy. And then we have the Toronto Raptors versus the Atlanta Hawks. DeJounte Murray leading his Hawks to a conference finals against a really stacked Raptors team. Early on, the Lakers and Raptors are up, and it looks like they're both going to get the job done. The Raptors are going on to the finals led by a 22-year-old Darius Garland, who wins conference MVP, and Anthony Davis wins the conference MVP for the Lakers. Now we have a Lakers-Raptors NBA Finals. I feel like Anthony Davis doesn't have as good of a supporting cast, but he is the best player in the series. It's all tied up at 2 apiece as we head into a pivotal Game 5. And in this Game 5, the Lakers, they're going to take it home, winning by 6 points in Game 5. DeAndre Ayton with 34 for the Toronto Raptors. That's not going to be enough, as Anthony Davis had 39 to lead his team to the dub. And the Raptors take Game 6, which means we have a Game 7. And in Game 7, the Lakers get absolutely destroyed, losing by 26. It's DeAndre Ayton with another really big game. Blake Griffin and Clint Capella both had double-doubles with 22 points apiece. And Anthony Davis, despite a 40-piece, can't get the job done. He had a good run and played well in the finals, but the Raptors, their depth was too much, and Blake Griffin gets a chip and a finals MVP. Here it is, man, the 2022 NBA draft, the final draft of the video. I'm excited to see who gets the final chip in this video, but we'll go ahead and check out the player retirements real quick before we get into the draft. Chris Bosh does decide to retire. Sean Livingston, Rondo, Rudy Gay, Brandon Roy retires. He had a much longer career than he did in real life as a result of injuries being off. But guys, guess who got his jersey retired? This is a perfect way to nearly end off this video. Rodney Stuckey, he got his jersey retired for the Knicks. Good stuff from him, but that's pretty cool as we head towards the end of this video. Anyways, it's time for the final draft. Who is going to get picked first? It is going to be from the Spurs, and it's Jabari Smith Jr. I remember there was rumors around draft time that Jabari would go first, but Paolo went first. This time he goes third to the Memphis Grizzlies. Really, whoever picks these players, it's not going to have too much of an effect. The Celtics still in the draft lottery is crazy. With LeBron James on their team, they haven't had a ton of success. But yeah, like I said, these draft picks don't matter too much. But if there's a trade like there was just now, and I skipped by it because I was pressing the button too fast, but if there's any trades that affect the league, that's really how the draft could shake things up. But ultimately, I don't see these young guys making too huge of an impact in this first season. It was a blockbuster Frank Kaminsky trade that was for that 9th pick. But now it's time to move on to the next season. I just skipped by free agency. You know what? That's fine. We're going to overview all the rosters before the final season so that you're completely updated on what's going on. You've got the Sixers with B.I. and Zion. You've got the Milwaukee Bucks led by an 89 overall Dennis Smith Jr. The Bulls with Drummond and Murray. The Cavs with Anthony Edwards, R.J. Barrett, Wendell, Andrew Wiggins. A cool young core. The Boston Celtics with Bron and Schroeder. The Clippers have a big three of Ben Simmons, Lonzo Ball, and Jaylen Brown. The Memphis Grizzlies have picked up Joel Embiid to play alongside Kawhi Leonard. Kevin Knox is also an 83 overall. Then you've got the Atlanta Hawks led by 90 overall DeJounte Murray. The Heat with Kemba, Lance Stevenson, and Jonas Valanciunas. The Charlotte Hornets with Donovan Mitchell, Triple J, and Rudy Gobert, along with Jabari Parker. The Jazz have Hayward, D'Lo, and Bagley. The Kings picked up Chris Paul to play alongside Luka. They've also got Frank Ntilikina. The Knicks have Russ, DeAndre Hunter, Tyrese Halliburton, and KP. The Lakers have AD, and oh my goodness, Laker lifer at this point, Avery Bradley. He's been there for a minute. The Magic have Kyrie and Giannis. The Mavs have Beal, MPJ, and George Hill. The Nets have Ja Morant, Miles Turner, Shea, LaMelo. That's a crazy team. The Nuggets have KD, Kyrie, and Levine. The Pacers have Jason Tatum and Trae Young along with Kobe White. And the Pelicans have Josh Jackson, Otto Porter, and Colin Sexton. The Pistons have Curry and Cade along with Wiseman and also like Campazzo, who's a pretty high overall. The Raptors have DeAndre Ayton, Blake Griffin, Jimmy Butler. The Rockets with Harden and Clay, they've had them for quite some time. Thad Young's been there for a while too. The Spurs with Boogie and De'Aaron Fox. You've also got Rui Hachimura, Isaac Okoro. The Phoenix Suns have a 90 overall Markelle Fultz, and they also have Karl Anthony Towns. That's crazy. Markel's a 90 in this. That's cool. The Thunder have PG. The T-Wolves have D. Rose and K. Love. The Portland Trail Blazers have Nikola Jokic, Devin Booker, Nick Batum, and Jalen Green. The Golden State Warriors have John Wall, Joshua Byers, PJ Washington, and shot selection legend Denzel Valentine. The Washington Wizards have Carmelo Anthony and Lauri Markkanen, and that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and get to the final All-Star teams of the video, and then we'll get to the final playoff run of the video. Jason Tatum makes his first All-Star team. Big Purr makes his first All-Star team. And I think that's it. No, Ben Simmons. He's also a first-time All-Star. So that's good to see. Ben Simmons has made some All-NBA teams, though. So surprising he hasn't made an All-Star team yet. And KD and Russ are your All-Star captains for this season. By the end of the year, it was once again Anthony Davis who was named the most valuable player. The rookie of the year for this season was Jaden Ivey with the Thunder. LaMelo was the sixth man for the Brooklyn Nets because they have so much talent. KD was the DPOY. Mike Malone was the coach of the year. And your most improved player was Precious Achiuwa. We see De'Aaron and Markelle making All-NBA this season. That's cool to see. Markelle at a 91. Dennis Smith Jr. also makes All-NBA. So does Marvin Bagley. Lance Stevenson on the All-Defensive First Team. Bron and KD are there as well. Michael Beasley on the All-Defensive Second Team also. And then checking out the league leaders for the final season, it was a young Zion Williamson, 22 a game, leading the league and scoring. A lot of young guys. We see Lauri Markkanen, Trae Young, DeAndre Ayton, Colin Sexton, Ja Morant. A lot of young players who are scoring the ball a lot. Marvin Bagley leads the league in rebounds for the season. Andre Drummond's still up there. Mitchell Robinson and John Collins are there as well. They got Collins too. Man, the Nets have so many good young players. Michael Carter-Williams leads the league in assists for the final season. Chris Dunn is up there as well, and Kyrie rounds out the top 10 with the Orlando Magic. For the final season, the top teams in the East were the Knicks, with Russell Westbrook and KP as their dynamic duo. The Magic with Giannis and Kyrie Irving. The Pacers with Trae Young, Jason Tatum, and Carmelo Anthony. And the Philadelphia 76ers with Zion and Brandon Ingram. The Nets were also fifth with this ridiculous team. If we would have simulated more years, they might have had a super team in this video. We'll see if they can get it done this year, though. In the Western Conference, it's the Lakers. Anthony Davis being dominant as usual, and they've got some solid role players around him. Is the Memphis Grizzlies with Joel Embiid and Kawhi Leonard. Third is the Denver Nuggets with KD and some solid role players around him. And fourth is the Sacramento Kings with Luka Doncic and Chris Paul. They've also got Hassan Whiteside. And then the Clippers are fifth with their big three of Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, and Ben Simmons. They've also got some good role players on that team as well. So the first round is pretty much wrapped up. We've got a couple series that are going a bit longer than the others, but in the Western Conference, every single series was done in a sweep or a gentleman's sweep. We get one Game 7 here in the first round between the Pistons and Knicks. Steph Curry versus Russell Westbrook. Are the Knicks going to lose as the number 1 seed? No, they aren't going to let an 8 seed take them down, although it was pretty close. DeAndre Hunter had a huge Game 7 to lead the way for the New York Knicks as they're going to advance to the second round, taking down Steph Curry and the Pistons, but it was Cade Cunningham leading the way for the Pistons with a ridiculous 46 points. It wasn't enough to get it done, though. Now let's go ahead and simulate the second round, where we see a lot of teams go down easily, with the Lakers sweeping the Kings and the Grizzlies gentlemen sweeping the Knicks. But we have a Game 7 between the Charlotte Hornets and the Orlando Magic. Kyrie Irving versus Donovan Mitchell. You've also got Jaren Jackson Jr. and Giannis on both of these teams. But ultimately, it's going to be the Charlotte Hornets who get it done in Game 7. It's Donovan Mitchell, Jaren Jackson Jr., two younger guys who are able to get the dub and advance to the conference finals. And in the conference finals, we've got the Lakers and the Grizzlies in the Western Conference. And out east, we have the Knicks and the Charlotte Hornets. Russell Westbrook versus Donovan Mitchell and Jaren Jackson Jr. The Knicks also have KP. Let's see who gets the job done in both of these series. Early on, the Lakers and Knicks are kind of dominating, but the Grizzlies are going to fight back against the Lakers. Both series are at 3-2, and ultimately both end up going to a Game 7. We've got this Game 7 between the Hornets and the Knicks, where the Hornets are going to clutch up, winning by 7, and it's Kristaps Porzingis with 25, Russell Westbrook with 21 and 15 as their team gets the dub. Jabari Parker with 20 isn't enough as the Hornets season is over. Now we've got a Game 7 between the Grizzlies and Lakers, and it's a close one. George Hill has the ball. He gives it to Enes Freedom, who scores the layup. It is a 1-point game here in Game 7, a chance to go to the finals in the final season of this video. Chris Dunn has the ball. AD wants it in the post. They get it to AD, and he goes ahead and misses. Now the Memphis Grizzlies are moving in transition. Gordon Hayward with the basketball. Over to Kawhi, over to George Hill. Down low to Enes Freedom, who's going to miss the layup, and now the Lakers have the ball once again, moving it in transition. Can they go ahead and get a bucket? I said moving it in transition twice, but Chris Dunn has the ball. Can he make a play? He's going to fade from 3. Why would you do that? AD, though, is able to tip it in and put his Lakers up by 3 points. Do the Grizzlies have an answer here? Josh Hart has the basketball in the clutch. Down low to Paolo, who's going to finish it. Now it is a 1-point game once again as the Lakers and the Grizzlies seasons are on the line. The Lakers are going to go ahead and go to the free throw line. It's Chris Dunn who's going to be taking these 2 big shots. The first one is up, and it's good. Now the second one, to make it a 3-point game, is also going to drop. Now the Grizzlies need a 3 to tie it up. Are they going to be able to get it? The ball is in a young Paolo Banchero's hands. He's a rookie. He's going to kick it out to George Hill, who hits it. Oh my goodness. The George Hill clutch 3, and it is a tie game here. Oh man, can the Lakers go ahead and win it? Danilo Gallinari with the ball, over to Patrick Williams, back over to Avery Bradley. Bradley for the win, and it's off. We're headed to overtime. Wow. And I simcasted the OT, and it just ended after 1 bucket. Apparently, 2K had done another rule change where it was a sudden death overtime. So I guess this game is over. The Lakers won it. I don't even know what happened because when I went to the score summary for overtime, it just didn't say anything. I didn't even know they had the sudden death overtime rule in. What a way for the game to end. But hey, man, the Lakers, they're moving on to the NBA Finals against Russell Westbrook, Kristaps Porzingis, and the New York Knicks. Let's see who goes ahead and gets this series win. Game 1's going to go to the Lakers. Game 2 goes to the Knicks. Game 3 to the Lakers. Game 4 to the Lakers. And Anthony Davis is going to win a chip in a Finals MVP. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you made it all the way to the end, comment I stayed until the end. Have a great day. Be sure to like and subscribe.